I was working with an IFBB legend, so it kind of made a little bit of this. I was actually co-promoting shows with Flex and Paul Love at that time also. So I figured, why not take the jump? Unfortunately, that was pre-bikini, and basically that was all back during the days where it was just open bodybuilding on the men's side. It was women's bodybuilding, figure fitness, and that was it. Less kids are getting out there and playing sports now.
Yeah.
Parents get their kids into this, they're thinking they're their meal ticket down the road, or it's gotten to the point where the sport has become more important to the parents than to the kids.
Yeah. I feel like everyone, again, is looking for this shortcut for some reason.
Yeah, especially for men. I shouldn't even have to bring it up for women, in all honesty, at that in their 20s, but they don't physically or emotionally mature until they're 26 anyway.
Yeah. It seemed attainable. We could never get to that level, but it didn't seem like it was that I had to go on a cycle. It was more like I had to train. Where today, kids are on cycles, they're not even on stage.
If we really want to look at it, he's just going for the clicks, right?
Yeah.
He's rage baiting. But the thing is, he successfully rage baits all the bodybuilders who are doing what they consider old school, just common sense workouts. And I'm not going to take scientific advice from you because you're smaller than me, which is not always, that's not really a legitimate argument either. You're not telling you to do this. He's just putting something else out there. But it's just this war that goes back and forth. And then you got guys literally assaulting each other on camera, posting that. Yeah, it's gotten very, very strange in our industry.
Bodybuilding is completely, you're wrong. You're getting it wrong. I'm the one that knows it. You've got to follow me. Yeah. I can show you what you're getting wrong. What's happened to bodybuilding?
Oh, and it's gotten worse. It gets worse every day.
Yeah.
I try to avoid that thirst trap, and I go with, this is what current research has told me on this specific topic. Except for vegans. I will always tell you vegans are wrong.
Hey guys, before we get into the podcast, this episode is sponsored by Alka Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Go to alkapower.com.au if you want to learn more. Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. No fluffs, just high quality proteins and pre-workouts. Every supplement need that you would require, found under one roof inside every Nutrition Warehouse store. Shop in store or online, nutritionwarehouse.com.au, and grab a cheeky 50% off, that's 15% off, by using discount code MUSCLETALKS, either online or in store. Macro Foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's macrofoods with a Z.com.au, and use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. I grew up in Sacramento, Japanese American, 4th generation actually. A boring childhood. Straight out from a sitcom. Hey, grandfather's a sensei. Karate, taekwondo, kickboxing. Owned 2 separate MMA academies. And then there's tennis too. Has a few opinions, theories, and ideas. Friends and a business partner like Flex Wheeler. And do not mention plant-based. Help me welcome. You can have protein before bed. And is creatine or better alkaline better? Help me welcome. Now let me get this right. I don't know why I did it yesterday. Greg Nagaye.
Yeah, that was very close.
Nagaye, yeah. Nagaye, there you go.
Yeah, you said it with an Australian accent, so it was on.
I get away with it with the Aussie accent. Oh my! I'll tell you something funny. I had Oksana on. Oksana on. I had Oksana on, right? And she was cool about it, but some bloke in the messages blew me up about getting her name wrong and disrespecting her. So I said to the guy, all right, I'm going to send you my surname and let's see if you get it right. And I sent it to him. No, or what did I say? Yeah, I sent it to him and go, pronounce my surname. And he couldn't. And because I got European background, and this guy was Russian, Greek mine is, my surname is Georgios. Now you think it's spelt George with an S. Yeah. But if I said to you, it's Giourgis, there's no George in it, but it's Georgis.
I might have gotten that correct only because we have a distributor in Greece who has a very similar name. So
There you go.
I might have lucked out on that one if I was that guy.
But the funniest thing is we became mates in the end. So we became mates in the end. He goes, okay, fair enough. And then we spoke about bodybuilding and he was okay. I like to win people over. I really do. What about yourself?
I can go either way, in all honesty, because I was a debate guy in college, so I like, even if something I truly disagree with, if I have to take that side just to debate someone, I might do it.
I mean, I never was in the debating team. I always wondered about the debating team. I always wondered about them. You know, like obviously they like. What is it about debating? Maybe tell me this. Tell me about debating, because I was never part of the debating team. But what was it? Because it was a want, it was a need for some to join a debating team. So what was it about a debating team?
We just like to argue. I mean, you get on these programs and you're told automatically you will have to be able to take either side and put together an argument.
Yes.
So, at that point, before I got into kinesiology, I wanted to be a lawyer. So it just made sense. Right?
Yeah.
So you might be the guy that has to go, and if I got into trial law, I might be the guy that has to go and defend a serial killer. Someone who I think is an absolutely despicable human being, but it's your job. And in the United States, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, so they do deserve their day in court, and that is a constitutional right for us. So it's very similar. I mean, there's a lot of, Australia, I know, has a similar situation with law, and so does the European Union, all the countries in the European Union. So it's just something that I decided to take on. Plus, I just like arguing.
Yeah, but
it's just something, our personality.
I guess you got to like argue. I've just thought about it. So in other words, correct me if I'm wrong. So when you debate, if we were given a subject and you were told you've got to debate, it's okay to do that, and I'm on the debating team that it's not okay, but though I might be okay with it, I've got to debate you. Jesus Christ, I'm going to make up anything I want to win the debate.
That would lose. Yeah, technically you can't make up whatever you want, but I mean there could be theoretically a situation where they said, all right, we're going to debate the efficacy of veganism for fitness, and you could get the side of veganism doesn't work, and I would get the side that I'd have to defend veganism.
Yeah,
you did your research on me. That's not going to be easy.
That's right. It's not going to be easy for you.
I would take that as a challenge, and I would go with it.
Yeah, but if you're going to try to beat me up for it, you're going. It's kind of going like, even though you're told to be on that team, It's just, it's like murdering your family.
For me, that would be very close, in all honesty. So yeah, but I might take one for the team and let you destroy me on that situation. I don't know.
Oh God, no wonder politicians can go to lunch together.
That's true. Well, they used to anyway in the United States, but they don't really hold on.
Yeah, whatever happened to that? But you know what? It's funny because my first question is, we will start with some political views.
Okay.
And obviously, we can't. I mean, we haven't done a podcast since then, so you were the first one. And obviously, the sad and tragic moment within history with Charlie Kirk. But I'll go on a little bit, and looking at your current stories on your IG. So, and I just wanted to let you know on my part, I didn't really know Charlie Kirk. I knew him when the Trump campaign, so I'll go with that. When I saw the Trump campaign and Charlie Kirk, that's when I discovered him, watching him on podcasts.
So he's relatively new to you.
Very new. And also Trump going on podcasts, but I know Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me just about what's your interpretation of the sentiment there in America, even though that's not really my first question. I try to go with segueing into things. But it's funny because I asked my daughter if she knew him. She knew him.
Oh.
Right? And she's 22, but I said, and she didn't want to talk about it. And I go, I didn't even know where she was in her thoughts. I just let it go. When my daughter says, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, oh, okay, she knows
Good
about
call.
it. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I've learned being a dad, you need to be the CIA with kids. You need to be the CIA.
Especially with
you've got to get 90%
I'm a girl dad myself.
Yeah,
so
you need to get 90% of the information and only give away 10 of yourself. You know what I mean? You need to get every intel off them, and they only need to know 10% of your life. So yeah, tell me about what's going on over there. What do you feel? Not you personally. I mean, I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to say is maybe speak on behalf of many or a few things that you'd like to talk about. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcast.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's okay. But that's, I mean, you are the first podcast since that tragedy. I can't help but maybe turn to an American. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean, first and foremost, it's not a good thing in any sense of the word. It is a tragedy. Someone getting murdered in front of his children in a public setting.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. Well, I could probably think of a couple people that might think it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing.
No.
Murder is never a good thing, and I'm a very anti-gun type of person.
Yeah.
Even though I'm married to basically a cop, so it's a weird dichotomy there.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it's very, very divisive right now in this country. I mean, Flex and I run a multinational business situation. We have partners outside the U.S. that are in the EU and everything else. So I know from the outside looking in, I think the rest of the world is kind of wondering what the heck is going on in the U.S. right now.
We've been wondering for a while with the U.S., by the way. But I'm just letting you know.
I have no doubt.
We've been wondering for years.
Wacky things like, I know. I mean, you guys had you guys in Australia, you had one mass shooting at a school, and you guys said, I know Jim Jeffries, one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries. Yeah.
Brought it up. He says, that's it, no more guns. And his joke was, it's probably a good thing. Okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether they lost their jobs. Here, it's just a Wednesday. I mean, even though the Charlie Kirk thing happened, there was a school shooting in Colorado just a couple hundred miles away at the same time.
Is this the black police officer, David
No,
Rose?
that was another shooting in another state.
Okay, yeah, I did some research.
So in the United States, it's just, it's almost a shock that we don't have a mass shooting during the week. Like, it's almost like those workplace signs that say 0 days since last accident. Yeah. But no, it's there's no middle ground with Charlie. I mean, the middle ground with Charlie Kirk are the people like yourself who just didn't really pay attention to him.
No.
But if anybody knew him, you either hated him or you loved him.
Yeah, I saw that. I understood. I could see that. I could see that side. There was a divide. There was a massive divide. It was probably 50-50.
Yeah, and like I said, there's no gray area. And so it's unfortunate that's almost a microcosm of the United States as a whole politically right now, where it's just there's no real middle ground. The people in the middle ground are the ones who are kind of just giving up on the whole situation and just hands off, and I'm just not going to pay attention anymore. And then you have people on the other side who or the other groups that are just either on one side or the other, or they're just not seeing eye to eye. There's no compromise anymore. Whereas 15, 20 years ago, I mean, you had, during the Barack Obama, John McCain campaigns, you had them both defending, the goodness of the other person. They just had, I mean, John McCain literally said, he is a good person. He is a family man. We just have differences of opinion on how things should run. Yeah. And that's what the campaigns are about. Now it's become way more personal and more vitriolic, I guess is the best way to put it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I was on a walk just listening to Tucker Carlson. I don't know what you think of Tucker Carlson. I'm not too sure. But I was just listening to him and he was talking about how much anger he had about what happened. And he said watching X was watching like soft porn. Like he just got addicted. He just kept watching it, like the anger.
Yeah.
And he had to disengage. He realized, oh my God, I'm hooked on all this hate going on. And what's the next person going to say? And I don't know where like your faith is. I know Flex's faith, and I have some faith in like whatever it is. But I think someone sent him a passage from Luke. I can't even relay the passage, but like something about haters and love your haters as if they're just whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Some kind of. I mean, Flex would probably know the passage. I don't. You know what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is. So we don't stay on this too long. You're right. I mean, David Rose that got shot. Like, I mean, why don't we care about that? And obviously with Charlie Kirk, this is very sad. I think the one thing we're all missing in this world, and I know this might sound soft, and I'm not woke at any point, or I like I said, I'm very open to discussions, but I think we're missing love. I think we're missing this one word. I think we're not caring anymore. And I think the word love, and there's so much hate. And I think and I'll be honest with you, this is personal. I've been watching, I've got some friends in America, and TikTok gave me a lot of friends. Don't ask me why, but I've got heaps of friends in America, right? And England, but America. And I fell in love with them. Like they're absolutely my best friends on TikTok. I turn to them when I'm feeling like I've had a shit day, I'll ring them, right? Okay. But I felt sad the way America was becoming when there were such good people in there. And that's what I was worried about, watching what's going on. What are they? I felt for the people. I felt like for the country. I felt like this isn't the country I know or I've watched from far. And I knew America needs to, is this juggernaut that represents us all in some way. If they're bleeding, we're all bleeding. Like regardless, they're hurting, we're all hurting. So it's kind of like we're all waiting. I said we're waiting for America to get their act together in some ways, I suppose.
Right. And I think I did a little bit. If you did your research on me also, I'm very politically active right now. So is my wife. She was actually
you did.
candidate at one point.
Yeah.
I worry that we are at the last couple of chapters of Rome as a country.
100%. I agree.
Because I think, they always talk about the American experiment. And personally, I hate the fact that we call ourselves America when we're actually, Canada is technically America, so is Mexico, so is Belize. Yeah. So but no, they call us an experiment in democracy, and I'm wondering if there were some mistakes made along the way that left us open as a country.
I think so.
To basically just fall apart. So I wonder if our foundation was really as strong as we thought it was. Because if you ask someone right now, from the outside looking in, you'd say the United States is very fragile right now.
It is.
Economically, we are. When you see India and China and Russia and North Korea meeting economically, we have a situation. And I don't fully agree with a lot of the economic planning that the current administration is going with. Blanket tariffs across the board on everything. There's some things, tariffing things like coffee or tariffing things like bananas. Those are things that cannot be grown in the United States. So it makes obviously there will be a trade deficit there because we can't make it here. So we have to import it. So tariffing that to try to bring production here makes no sense. And the reason why, they always talk about the free market. The reason why things were offshore is because they're made cheaper somewhere else. So, for a longest time, Pittsburgh, where my wife is from, that area, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that was a steel city. Steel is not something you could actually manufacture here at a acceptable cost anymore. So, we're getting it from other countries because it's cheaper. Does it make sense to try to tariff that? We're a global economy. And that's something, I'm a Star Trek geek. And so you have to go further enough in the future or, they look at it as we're not a bunch of countries on one planet. We are one planet operating as a whole. In that mindset. Actually, it's the entire federation operating as a whole.
Yeah.
So, try to say me versus them or us versus them. I think that's part of where the issues have always started.
Yeah, but I think it seems like, I don't know. It's here in Australia too. It seems like our governments, which are paid by the taxpayer,
Mm-hmm.
seem to able to give themselves a pay increase
Yeah.
anytime they want. That's one. Two, lifetime retirements on the same wages. That don't lose their money. We do.
Right. Yeah.
And lastly, I don't know about you, but if a company and the CEO or the directors put a budget together and they blew the budget out and we lost money, they'd walk them off the board or they'd sack them. I don't know how these guys can make so many mistakes with our money and flaunt our money around and do negotiations that don't serve the country. How we voted them in and how they've, I don't know, convinced us it's somebody else. It's somebody else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely not something that we can say that we own that whole situation, because, I mean, even like you said, there is in these democracies, it's kind of a loose term, if I put it that way, because it's really the power structure as far as who gets elected, because it's very difficult to get elected in the United States specifically, and I'm sure it's not a whole lot different in Australia, New Zealand, or in the UK or in Germany, unless you have money to get your name out there. And I mean, it used to be a little bit different here, where it was actually publicly funded elections.
Yeah.
But that all changed with a lot of Supreme Court decisions. Now it's unlimited money that can go into elections. So, they basically told my wife, it all comes down to how much money you can raise to spend on your election process, your campaign to get elected. And it's not your ideas. It's not your platform, really. Because that doesn't matter unless you can get the word out.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I've, like I said, America, it's funny. Like I said, it's been a place where you talked about, like people would say, you're working in New York or you're working in America, you've made it. The land of opportunity. Like it was, and everyone's plan was, if you're going to make it big, you go to America. But I don't know. Like I said to you, it's a strange time, and I'm hoping, everyone. Like I said, that I don't know. I hope just there's good leadership or good people in leadership, people around working together, and I think you do need to look after your backyard. And I think there's a saying, and I'll use a biblical saying, but it says, fill one cup over and then fill others. Meaning, if I'm not doing the right thing and filling my cup up, then I don't know why I'm trying to help others when I'm falling over. Basically, get your cup right, fill it up, start filling everybody's cup up, start filling the world, get around, put the cups underneath it, and everyone prosper on good leadership or good whatever it is, what you're doing. It's not just about money. It's a lot of things. It's about morals. So let's just hope, that, America starts, I think when I say getting their act together, I hope so.
Right. Well, I mean, when you have guys like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos that are literally renting out cities in Europe for their weddings, they're just basically filling up their own cups, right? They're not
100%.
There's no rising tide lifting all boats kind of situation.
That's right.
So I don't want to go as far as say eat the billionaires. I think I might have put a post out like that at one point. But at some point, when you're that vastly outnumbered, you're going to start to worry a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
When everybody else has so little in comparison.
100%.
And that's, there's how many historical stories about, those autocrats being overthrown and literally, strung through the streets.
Yeah.
It's happened so many times, and it's never really been able to sustain itself.
Well, history has a way, and I don't know. So let's, since we're talking about history, let's go back to Sacramento. Okay. And,
let's talk about muscle.
So Sacramento, right? Did that just go over my head? Did I miss a joke there?
Oh, yeah, it seems like we've been talking a lot about politics on the Musclecast podcast.
Well, the thing is, this is the Tonight Show of bodybuilding. So, in
There,
other words,
that's perfect.
yeah. So, what I'm saying to you is, I talk to bodybuilders, and what this allows is we can talk chicken and rice, and we can talk about protein, and we can talk about calories in, calories out, and we can talk about steroids. We can talk about that. But the funniest thing is, many people wonder, who is that person on stage? Who is that person talking to me? And I think, and this podcast is the Tonight Show. So I'm Jimmy Fallon. Now, occasionally I might have, like I did, a Tom Cruise, which is Flex Wheeler, and people say, I don't give a fuck about Steve. Flex is on. That's cool. But then when Jimmy Fallon does have a guest on, they go, I kind of trust Jimmy because he might bring on someone that's interesting. So that's basically what I try to do. So I try not to, because if I spoke about chicken and rice, I would be over in a
That's true.
You know.
I will not be singing, by the way.
Well, maybe I might get you to dress up though, but that's another story. So you grew up in Sacramento, fourth generation Japanese, typical boring, straight out of sitcom, due to being raised in a very diverse California city. Tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about growing up, Japanese, fourth generation. Tell me, because I'm Greek, first generation.
Got it. There was actually it's California, right? So there's actually a large amount of Japanese immigrants that came to California, and like my grandmother actually came to she was born in California in 1919.
Okay.
So her parents actually immigrated here in the 18th or the 19th century. So they were here in the 1800s, and they came for work. Mm-hmm. They settled in the Sacramento Valley area, and they were farmers. And then, my grandfather was born in this is my paternal side.
Yep.
My grandfather immigrated the long way. He went from Japan over to China, up through Russia, across the Bering Straits, and out into Alaska. Stayed there for a little while, then worked his way down through Canada, Washington, Oregon, and somehow settled in Sacramento.
Yep.
And then basically they got married. Then World War II happened. They were interned during that, along with my father. They got out afterwards and started businesses again. So he was in a landscaping business and somehow got a bonsai business to go during the 50s.
Mr. Miyagi.
And basically. He was not the martial artist, though. That was on my maternal side.
Okay.
But then my grandmother went and worked for the state for the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they raised two kids, put them through college. And that was my aunt, my father, obviously. And they stayed in Sacramento. Then my father met my mom, and I was born in 1972. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was, we were in a very diverse area. It was, like I said, it was almost like the Cosby Show or Modern Family type of sitcom where, I went to elementary schools, preschools, junior high school with lots of different nationalities, lots of different religions. And it was just, that was not a shock to me kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas my wife coming from rural Pennsylvania, everybody was white and Catholic.
Yeah.
But yeah, then, on the other side of things, my mom's family, my grandmother was actually born here, went back to Japan prior to World War II, met her husband. He went to war. Funny enough, actually, both my grandfathers fought in World War II, but one was in the Japanese military, and then the other one was in the U.S. military, went to Europe.
God.
But they immigrated here on a visa situation to work in the Bay Area in farms. They got lucky with some kind of lottery, so him and his brothers all came here. They were the hardest working ones because they would work on strawberry fields in the Mountain View area Monday through Friday. And then they would go scope out land in the Santa Cruz mountain areas on the weekends, and they opened up their own farms and gradually went that route. But they were the martial artists, so eventually, they started to get back to the martial arts side of things, specifically Shotokan. Yeah. And it became a family thing, so I would go there during the summers. And I have an old picture of me at 5 years old. This is 1977, in my first gi in their little dojo, which was basically a barn. Mm-hmm. And that's how my martial arts side started out.
What is Shotokan?
It's one of the oldest forms of karate. It's very basic stuff. I mean, there's no flip kicks or spinning kicks or anything else. It's very, very straightforward linear style of karate.
Okay. So I was just listening to that story, very similar to some of the Australian Europeans that came here, and obviously Asians as well. It's funny how hardworking they were, and with very little, they just kept moving, finding where the work was,
Hmm.
keep going till they could settle. Yet we keep thinking of the future so much, don't we? We keep wondering so far ahead that we just want to be this overnight success in some ways.
Yeah, well, I think the social media era probably changed our perception of things a little bit. But
It
yeah, no,
has.
back then it was, um, yeah, it was a little bit different. I mean, I know my grandfather, on my mom's side, he always said there's no way in today's day and age he could have pulled this off because
Yeah.
he got a lot of his. I mean, he had a handshake deal on the lumber to build
Yeah.
his greenhouses,
Yeah.
and there's no way that would have happened today.
No.
And the same thing, he had handshake, all IOU type of deals for food, even and seeds.
Mm.
I guess maybe and that was weird too because it was the 1950s, and we had just gotten out of World War II, victory over Japan. We were in the middle of Korea situation. You have this Asian guy coming in asking, trying to barter business deals with these white guys out in rural Bay Area, and they went along with it. And who knows? I mean, actually, UC Santa Cruz actually had one of their Asian studies classes profiled him at one point, as far as he helped develop the farming industry in the Monterey County area,
Wow.
him and his family. So it was they actually profiled that. They have videos on YouTube and everything about the process. So it was pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I like I said, they were quite resilient, weren't they? So, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Um, well, I'm going to go with something Flex said. Do you think every generation we have a weaker man?
Flex may differ on a lot of things. I think I guess it depends on what aspect you're looking at.
Yeah.
Um, I know I don't think there's a lot of people that could have survived what he went through. I mean, literally war. There's one point where he was reported dead to my family. They thought he was dead.
Mm.
He was stuck in China, where basically, both Russians and Chinese wanted him dead,
Yeah.
and somehow he was able to get back. And then my other grandfather, who was, came here, had a business, and then it was told him, my grandmother were told that you might be enemies of the state, so we're going to put you in these. You have one day to get rid of everything. We're going to put you in these camps to figure out what to do with you at this point.
Wow.
For your protection, even though the guns were pointed inward at the camp. And then he decided he wanted to prove that he was as much of an American as they were. So he decided to fight for the country that literally put his family in prison.
Wow.
And then coming back and starting all over again. I don't know if I could have done all that.
Yeah.
And survived it, right?
Yeah, different breed.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, they in the United States, we label them as our greatest generation. So maybe that was done for a reason.
Maybe similar to our bodybuilders in the 90s.
I'll let Flex know you said that.
You let Flex know that. He'll be happy. He'll be chuffed about that. So you played soccer, baseball?
Everybody played soccer in the United States.
Really?
Back it seemed like every friend I had, boy or girl, we all played soccer and baseball. I don't know, maybe that was a Sacramento thing, but yeah.
It's just because America's known for baseball, NFL, and NBA. I don't know. I've never seen their soccer. They never talk much about soccer.
That's the crazy thing. I don't think you'll meet too many kids that didn't play.
Wow.
In their under the age of 10. But then for some reason, I mean, everywhere else in the world, that is the
world game. That's the world game.
It's football.
Yeah.
It's the sport.
Yeah, the world
I
game.
mean, you go. I mean, I've been to a Premier League game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's just
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you think,
I've gone to one as well.
So yeah, I mean, I've been to a women's. Both we have a pro league in the United States, the NWS. Been to a couple of those games. And I've been to, I was lucky enough to go to a World Cup game in '99.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm surprised it hasn't taken off. I think the American mindset, I just don't think it can. It just doesn't handle it. I guess I don't know why.
Wow, I can't
Maybe it's
believe they wouldn't want to be in the World Cup. Like I can't, America being who they are, like the World Cup soccer, you know?
it's yeah, I don't get it.
We love it. We try to push Australia into try to make it into the World Cup and take on the world, like Argentina and
Mhm.
Brazil. And I mean, it's amazing to watch. I'm just surprised that America hasn't tried to take on that.
It's a weird. I mean, it comes down to what they put their money into again.
Yeah, yeah.
But women's team, I don't. You've noticed the women's national team has really declined in the last couple of cycles,
Yeah.
and I think it showed. God, maybe I'm too much of a sports geek, but I
That's
was
okay.
seeing
That's
this
good.
in the last couple of Olympics and World Cups where they were the top of the mountain for from the late 90s through the mid 2010s.
Mm,
But then I was looking at the under 17s and the under 20s, and they were not nearly doing as well in international play.
mm.
And I kind of saw that as a red flag, and I was proven right, like because their current senior national team is not anywhere near the caliber as it was in the 2010s, 2000s, or the
Yeah,
late 90s.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know, maybe it's a cycle, but I don't see them putting a whole lot of money into it. Even with the NWSL, I don't see them developing the young players, and definitely the men's team has never been a factor on the world stage.
Yeah, I'm just very, I just want to make sure this is silent. Yeah, I'm just shocked because you love the world stage and soccer is the world stage, and I'm just surprised, yeah, why? And I'm surprised when you tell me you played soccer because I'm thinking, do they play soccer in America? But I mean, David Beckham bought a side there. I get in Miami, isn't it? Miami, he's got the Miami.
Yeah, and Messi's playing
I
there. So I mean,
know. I mean, how good is that?
yeah. Well, with the,
Is
the compensation package he was offered, I can't see obviously I know why he initially took it,
of
but
course.
I don't know. I mean, here again, we talked about the decline of a lot of things. I mean, even like you said, it's Major League Baseball, it's basketball, it's NFL. If you look at NBA or basketball on the world stage, a lot of teams, a lot of countries are catching up to the
Oh, they
U.S.
are, they are, they are.
And then in baseball, the World Baseball Classic a few years ago, it wasn't won by the U.S. It was won by Japan.
Can I ask why? What do you think? Because I've got a theory. Just
Well, I just think everybody
now.
else they're liking it more, and they're putting effort into it. I mean,
Mm,
right now, the best player in the NBA, the two best players in the NBA are two Europeans.
mm, mm.
It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I always get his name wrong.
I know
And
he's a Africa guy adopted by Greeks, correct?
right,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I
and
know.
then it kind of goes between Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
The three best players. I would say the three best players in the NBA. They're better than LeBron is.
yeah.
He's up there in age now, so I mean, in his prime, it might have been a different story. But same thing with baseball. I mean, we have our Aaron Judge, everything else, but I'm a Dodger fan, so Shohei Ohtani is probably the most popular player in baseball right now. He's
Mm.
Japanese.
So I don't know why my mind, because I've got here a few other things, but let's segue. I'm kind of heading towards. Is there a problem with our food, our diets, our our getting out there and being active?
I yeah, actually, that's an interesting thought for us in the U.S. or for people in general.
Well,
That
well, you're talking about
I
the
think
US declining in relation to being on the world stage. I mean, you're only as good as what youth is coming through and what players are investing their time in. And Europe is a different place in itself, both with cuisine and food. And it seems like the Western culture, even Australia, our diets are very poor. Like we've got some very poor
really.
diets. Like everything is, yeah, very poor, very poor. We're not size so much, but we do like it. But just nobody's really cooking anymore. Nobody's really investing in. Like I said, we're going to go there, aren't we? We're going to go calories in, calories out. But let's talk about. Do you think it could be the diet? It could be the health of America. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, with our current obesity rates in the United States is
yeah,
not anywhere near acceptable.
yeah,
And then I think less kids are getting out there and playing sports now.
yeah.
I have three daughters, and they're all. I think I lucked out the fact that I also married a very athletic woman, so It's just kind of our personal culture that they play sports. So,
Yep.
you know, my oldest, I didn't give you the breakdown on my kids. I should have done that because I'm
Please.
extremely proud of them.
Go.
So my oldest, Neely, she did junior Olympic. It's just a category, but she did competitive gymnastics, was her first sport.
Yep.
And then she was on a travel lacrosse team. She won several sectional championships in track and field as a junior high schooler. Yep. And then after graduating high school, she went the martial arts route also. She became a U.S. national Muay Thai champion. She won a title at 18 years old.
Yeah.
And she was actually, when Muay Thai was a provisional sport for the U.S. Olympics team, she was on the long list, but it was a huge list of someone they would look at for that possible team spot.
Wonderful.
So, and she's switched over to boxing specifically, and she's looking at 2 different camps to train at, but she's always done various sports, and she works out a lot. And then my 2 twins, I have 2 twin 15-year-olds, they play travel hockey, but they also made their high school volleyball team, and they do archery and a couple other things. Their friends didn't have the same lifestyle. And I'm trying to think of this because I remember when the twins went over, they were younger, when they went over to a friend's house to just hang out, one of their parents was headed out to do something. Their thought was, oh, is she going to the gym? And they're like, what? Their mindset is just, you know, that when mom and dad goes out, they're typically going to work out, or we're going to some kind of practice.
Yeah.
That's just their mindset, and everybody else is kind of like, that's weird. So I think there's a lot less in their school. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot less kids getting into sports these days. And then it's almost like the same divide. If they're getting into sports, they're going way too far, getting too crazy about it. And if you heard the story about the sports parents in the U.S.
No.
Oh, so I get inundated with this because I've been a coach, but I've also been the sports parent. Like the twins, they play travel hockey. So they play for the San Jose Sharks junior program, which is part of the NHL situation. Parents get their kids into this. They're thinking they're their meal ticket down the road, or this is going to save them on college tuition because they're going to get a scholarship.
All right. Yeah.
And I heard one of my heroes as a kid, Tom Glavine, who was a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He said, it's gotten to the point where, and now I'm paraphrasing, it's gotten to the point where the sport has become more important to the parents than to the kids.
Yeah.
And that's becoming a problem.
Yeah.
And another guy that I used to look up to, who was a teammate of his, John Smoltz, kind of said, what I've learned as a coach is the worst time for these kids is the drive home from the games.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought about that. And this is where my dad, who was a coach also, he was masterful in this kind of stuff, especially with tennis because it's one-on-one.
Yep.
He just let me initiate the conversations on the way home, especially if I had a bad day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it was about something totally unrelated to get my mind off it. So I try to take his approach, but I know I failed. So I will always try to do better on that side of things. Because the last thing I want is, unfortunately, girls, there's research to bore this out, but at certain ages, they tend to gravitate away from sports, just in general. So I don't want them to do that, because whatever sport they end up choosing or going with, or whatever they do for a lifetime, I always told them, you're going to work out. That's just a given, because there's no excuse. We have a gym in our garage. But I want you to be active for your entire life. And there's research that has proven that is the key to longevity and quality of life.
Hey guys, Steve here. You know how much I love food. Food is very important to me. I'm an advocate for good food, good quality food, well-priced, well-valued food. And this is it. Macro Foods. I've searched long and hard and I found it. It took a while, but I finally found the best. Macro Foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's with a Z, macrofoods.com.au, and use code MTP10 for 10% off your order. I'm serious, guys. Only seek the best, eat the best, and promote the best. Macro Foods, macrofoods.com.au. Go now. Use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. With over 120 stores across Australia and New Zealand, and founded by former Mr. World Grant Mayo, Nutrition Warehouse is built for lifters who mean business. Shop in store or online at nutritionwarehouse.com.au. And while you're there, grab a cheeky 50% off at checkout. Use code MUSCLETALKS. That's Muscle Talks either online or in store. Hey guys, how important is hydration? How important is water? Alka Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Whether you're training, recovering, or just staying sharp, Alka Power helps keep your body in balance, hydrated. Find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Australia's #1 alkaline water. So important, alkaline water. I can't stress it enough. High in pH, ultra hydrating. Australia's #1 alkaline, comes in various sizes. And if you'd like to learn more, go to alkapower.com.au. I was a soccer coach as well. And I coached soccer. I played soccer myself too. Not at a high level. I always underestimated myself. I probably still do. But the thing is, but I did see the parent involvement, but I knew as a coach I had to form some sort of unity within the team, and I knew that the kids would play for the coach. It was the coach they were doing it for. So you kind of had to bleed with them. If they knew the coach would bleed for them, they'd bleed for you. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, I used to, and I remember once, there was a bit of a dust up at training once, and I said, I'm going to have to suspend these kids for the dust up. But I said to them, this is the rule. You're still going to turn up to the game. You're going to turn up to the game, but you're not going to play. And you're going to sit next to me on the sideline. And then it's funny. There was 2 kids and only one parent allowed that to happen. Only one. The other one didn't turn up, which is fine. They were angry. But the kid that turned up, his name was Stamati. And he came, he sat next to me. And I leant over to him. I said, Stamati, we all make mistakes. But I said, how about we learn our lesson and come out better? So can you coach with me today? And let's forget about what happened and let's look forward. And he goes, got it. And that was it. No one heard that. It was just me and him talking. You know, I said, and that was it. He just sat with me as my assistant coach for the day, and we supported the team. But I said to him as well, we all make mistakes. I've made a million mistakes, but let's grow from this. You know, I made sure he got a whisper from me saying, I'm no better than you at your age. I get it, but let's put on a good show for everybody, and let's go.
That is an incredible life lesson for that child too.
Yeah.
I think that was an amazing thing.
Yeah, because like I said, I knew how he must feel, but I knew that I didn't want to crush him. So this was the moment I'd lift him. So it was very important. My son does Muay Thai. He's 19. His name's Yanni. And tell me if I'm wrong here, all right? You can always tell a fighter. I don't know why, but it's something in their eyes. I don't know why. And it's something about their stature, the way they act, that they need it, but they need the discipline from it, but they need the ring. I don't know what it is. So it's not that they want a true fighter. It's not that they want to go fight in the world. They don't want to go out and hurt anyone. They're the softest characters. But what I'm saying is my son, he's like an assassin. Like, I know that from a young kid watching his attitude, his eyes, he wouldn't want to pick on anyone. But when it comes to martial arts, he's done Taekwondo. He's done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And now he's doing Muay Thai, and he's learning MMA. He's 19 and he doesn't know what to do now. He just finished school. And I said to him, I said, do me a favor. I said, I don't care if right now you don't know what to do. But if you're not learning something every day, that bothers me. So if you're going to double down on your martial arts, I'll be happy. So he's doubled down, and he's every morning, every afternoon at the gym. Now it's just crazy. So he did his first fight 3 weeks ago, but I wasn't allowed to go. I wasn't allowed to go. But I watched it like later. I got some footage from it. And he did amazing. But yeah. So
congratulations.
Yeah, I just think there's something about fighters. There's something, I don't know what it is. What do you think it is? Because I think I can fight, but there's those that he longs to get in the ring, longs for it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and we're a different breed because we put our health very far down the priority list on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it's also a very dangerous thing because you have to have the right mentors, I think.
Yeah.
And I have a horrible temper.
Yep.
But I think the traditional aspect that was instilled with me by my grandparents and my father even.
Yeah.
I
have a horrible temper too. Yeah, I have a horrible temper.
I think that helped to funnel it in the right direction, I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because you'll see that with a lot of fighters. I mean, the UFC has become very popular because it's on, ESPN and everything else now. And if you see a lot of the backstage stuff, I mean, Conor McGregor kind of brought a lot of the bad stuff that fighters are to the limelight, especially like when he attacked the bus situation a few years ago. That is very typical of competitive fighters.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, like when I had my MMA gyms, I made it very clear I had some investors come in, I've had some partners, and I made it very clear that I want a family gym, not a family academy, not a fighter academy.
All right.
2 reasons. First off, fighters are always broke because they never pay their dues on time.
They're broke. Yeah.
So it's not a business. It's a better business situation. Secondly,
smart.
If we get actual fighters in that gym, there's going to be issues. There's always going to be fights. I mean, I remember a lot of the trouble that I was able to talk myself out of hearing my grandfather and my father's voice in my ear.
Good.
Back in the whereas my friends did not. And sometimes it sucked me into it at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But everything is to a fighter. It's like, to a hammer, everything is a nail. To a fighter, everything is a fight.
Yeah.
And that's the issue I'm having with my oldest right now is that she will never back down from a fight. And it's in her mind, I cannot be disrespected. So I will not put my fist down. And I've had to, unfortunately, figure out a way to quell that. It's becoming better with age, obviously.
Yeah, I think, I don't know how to answer that one, but I think as a father too, I think I've told my son, even when he used to go to school, and my daughter, but my son, I used to say, get under the radar. Just stay under the radar. What are you doing? You poke your head up, you're going to get hit, shot at, whatever. I just get under the radar. And I said, and sometimes they don't all need to know everything. I said, you might have a bunch of friends that carry on like, we're going to go and do this, and everyone's cheering. And I said, you may cheer, but just know in your mind you're not going to get involved. As long as you know, you just can't give away everything. Like you can't, you just got, I keep mentioning the CIA thing, but you just can't take away, remove yourself from a group, but you got to know when you're in the group, you're in control of your own self. And if the group carries on, you just can't be part. You just got to camouflage yourself in there without making yourself stand out. Oh, you're not part of us. Oh, who do you think you are? Just kind of drop it a little bit. And I guess where he goes to train Muay Thai, for me, I care a lot about what the coach thinks of him. I always ask, what was the coach telling you? And yeah, I guess that's the discipline I've kind of tried to teach them in a sense, to get under the radar. The last thing I taught them for school, if anyone's listening, I used to say there was a rule. They had to sit at the front of the class. Right? That was the rule.
Oh,
I didn't have
rule.
I didn't have anything. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't say, do your homework. I didn't say, what are your marks? All I said was, sit at the front of the class. Oh, there was something about marks. I sit at the front of the class. And they used to say, why? I said, because that's where the answers are. And I said, that's where the free marks are. So if you got 79 out of 100, but you sat at the front and the teacher liked you, she might go, you know what? I'm going to give him an 80. And 80 seems better than 79, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a loser down the back and you got a 50 and she didn't like you, she'll go, I'm going to make this guy hurt, 49. You know what I mean? Out of 100. So I used to say that to him. And I said also, marks mean nothing, effort means everything. If the teacher said you got 55% out of 100, but your effort was 100%, that's what I cared about. You gave it all. That's all you could get. So I think, I guess that's what I try to teach them. Just it's all about 100%, not about the mark itself, or and like I said, get under the radar.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's hard. It's easy to teach. It's hard to make sure they follow up with that.
Yeah, no, but I've got better as being a dad with my kids, what they come to me with. So I'm going to go to your first pinned post, and I'm going to read it because that's what we always need to know, your first pinned post. And let me just go to it because that's if technology is quick enough. Have you noticed technology getting slower, or is it just me?
Oh, I think they do that on purpose.
There have to be, don't you think so? There has to be.
Yeah, because that makes you buy the next faster thing.
Yeah, it has to be. There's no other way. But
are you using an iPhone or are you
iPhone?
Oh, well, that's good because I'm an Apple shareholder. So
there you go. You will increase
everything's
your
household.
So 50 plus pounds. No daughters yet. Just retired from fighting. Way more flexible. I just finished a year where I went 2.0 in boxing and 0.1 in kickboxing, but that loss was really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that post and why have you pinned that post?
I think also I just want to make sure people that I did have some flexibility at one point.
Yes.
And that I wasn't just a meathead fitness trainer or bodybuilder. That was a little bit more to me, but that's the reason. I guess I know which one it was in there now. I guess that's the reason I pinned it up there, just to create some differentiation in what I've been posting, because everything else is pretty much fitness related.
Yep. All right. Well, there you are, flexible and actually admitting about winning and losing, and and what you do with that. All right. Then,
that was 2001, I believe.
Yeah. It was. I tell you, it was 1st of February 2001. I'm
okay.
I have to research you, but also on the 17th of July 2021, you posted the memories of the TCM Nationals.
That was my daughter's, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
That was my daughter's win.
No, TCM Nationals was your bodybuilding.
Oh.
That
okay, so
you came set. That second when your name gets called out and you get that golden ring. So you were kind of letting people know your name gets called out and you get that golden ring. Tell us about that competition and how that made you feel.
Well, that was back before COVID, so they were still doing morning preliminaries and then night finals and everything else, and I won my class, so I'd already gotten the pro card technically.
Yep.
I was going into the overall, which I had no intention of thinking I had any chance at. I literally did not pump up in the pump up room because I thought I knew who won. It wasn't going to be me. I was Class A,
right?
So I was a short guy, so we don't get a whole lot of respect.
Oh. How tall are you?
5'5" and 1/2 inches.
Well,
so I had to put that in there because I thought I was an inch shorter, which hindered me on my weight. Actually, for the longest time, my first year in Classic, I thought I was an inch shorter.
Yep.
So I kept my weight lower. It turned out I was an inch taller than I thought I was. I could add another 10 pounds, which made a huge difference.
Yeah.
So no, I'm sitting there, and if you see when in the video, if I'm thinking about it right, if you see me when they're going through the whole process of naming off all the sponsors, I was looking up the light. I was like, "Get me off the stage! I want to go eat. I want a vodka."
Yeah. What did you want when you get off the stage?
I wanted to eat and I wanted to get some vodka. I am a huge vodka guy.
I love vodka myself. I love Belvedere.
I have a collection of about 15 different vodkas on the shelf right now.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk vodka. Yeah, go on.
My favorite right now is the Zubrałka vodka from Poland.
Oh,
so
yeah.
just off topic.
Yeah, go.
But I was looking up the lights, like, hurry, I just want to go. And then I heard my number. I was like, is that my number? And then I won the overall. So it was kind of a fun situation.
Yeah. No, I saw that. When did you take up being with martial arts? When did you take up bodybuilding? What was it? How old were you?
35, 36.
Wow. What made you do it at 35?
I couldn't fight anymore because I was medically retired.
Yep.
And again, we go back to that fighter competitive mentality. You have to do something. And I just married my wife at that time, who was also an IFBB pro, by the way.
Yes, she was.
But it was a choice between I could try that out, which I've always thought about since I was a kid, reading, all the magazines back during the magazine days. Or I can go back into poker, which my wife would divorce me over. So it went the less expensive route. And yeah, I mean, I was married to an IFBB pro. I was working with an IFBB legend, so it kind of made a little bit of this. I was actually co-promoting shows with Flex and Paul Love at that time also. So I figured, why not take the jump? Unfortunately, that was pre-bikini. And basically that was all back during the days where it was just open bodybuilding on the men's side. It was women's bodybuilding, figure and fitness, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was pre-men's physique even. So, I didn't want to go. I wanted to win. I don't think you should ever get into anything unless you want to win, but
we're going to go with that, don't we? I've got it towards the end.
But I didn't, at 5'5"-ish, I probably at that time to be a real competitive guy, I'd probably have to be a light heavy. I didn't want to get that big.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept off that, high welterweight, low middleweight kind of class, but I was small. So I didn't win a whole lot at that time. And then Classic Physique came out, which was a godsend to me because I was not going to do the board short thing.
Yeah.
No offense to those guys out there. I just was not going to do that. One of my good friends, Johnny Sebastian, broke in on that whole thing. So he went to Olympics as a physique guy, but I can't, the whole posing. I'm going to stop there. Luckily Classic came out and that just really, I think it was perfect for me.
Yeah.
And then when I found out I was actually taller than I thought, I could add some more weight, a little bit more weight on and not be freakishly big, even though my mother still calls me a gorilla at this point. And that just worked out for me. So, I didn't compete for the first time until 2011, really, because I was 140 pounds at that point. So I had to put some size on.
Yeah.
Did a few shows, always made, top 2 or 3-ish. And that was back when, the NPC was still fairly roaring. So, even at the regional shows, we had 10, 15 people in each class. But then, Classic came in and it was still pretty competitive because everybody jumped into it. Because I remember when I won the overall at the San Francisco championships, we had in A class, we had 15 guys in that class alone. So it was pretty big. And I didn't have to hit all the poses, right? So I didn't have to hit like the back lat spread. I didn't have to do the most muscular. So on and off the stage a little bit quicker too. So you're win-win.
But I think when it comes to God, I've gone blank on his name. Chris, Gold's gym owner. Ed Connors. Ed Connors reckons the short guy, it's bodybuilding. The tall guy should get into wrestling. So he believes, anyone below 5'10" should be bodybuilding, and anyone above 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, that's their wrestling career.
Career wrestling.
That's what he believed.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's got to be rough being the taller. Well, I've seen some good. I mean, Bumstead's a taller guy in the bodybuilding world, right? He's done okay.
Well, how tall is he?
Isn't he 6'1"-ish or something?
But that's what I'm saying. I thought looking at, like, even Jay Cutler, I thought he would look 6 foot, but apparently he's about 5'10". I think he's 5'10", maybe 5.
I think he lied. I think when his hair spiked up, he's 5'10".
That's what I mean. But what I'm getting at is, I've had Sean Ray on. I've done a few things in person with Lee Priest. I mean, in relation to size, I mean, they look 6 foot when you're next to them. I mean, sideways, they look 6 foot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really believed everyone was so tall until I found out when I heard their heights. I went like, wow, I'm surprised. It seems like it is a bit of a, excuse what I'm going to say, a short man's game, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I don't think it's difficult to be tall unless you do men's physique.
Yeah.
Aaron Banks is fairly tall also.
Yeah.
But no, you want to be relatively short you don't want to be too short though either.
Yeah.
But relatively short with small joints.
Yeah.
But no, it all comes down to your overall structure, how you look. Like I've seen, and I know we're probably going to get into that a little bit later, but I've seen some guys with a lot of muscle that get very lean in condition, but their structure just does not pan out for the bodybuilding game in any category, because it just, you want that X frame and they look boxy straight up and down. And Jay Cutler was able to get around that because he was able to add, like Arnold said, add some clay here and there to make himself look a certain way.
Yeah.
But you put him up to like a prime Dexter Jackson or a prime Flex Wheeler, and the aesthetics are just completely different.
Do you think, I mean, definitely the A-frame, the hourglass, whatever you want to call it, but I was talking to, I had Frank Zane on, right? I had Frank Zane on, and I had my co-host was Terry Mitsos, and Terry Mitsos was a Mr. World, Mr. Australia 5 times, Mr. Australasia, and he spoke about that. It seems, when I see bodybuilders, I just see big, right? I mean, but I'm looking back now and wondering, what is this discrepancy? Why is I can't understand it. This guy looks huge, but they're talking about the 90s or the early 2000s, or they're talking about the 80s. What are they talking about? But Terry said that the bodies today, and even John Brown, but the bodies today are quite blocky. And the reason they're quite blocky, he reckons, it's because they've got every single piece of equipment that they can use to perform the exercise, where in the past you had to improvise. And by improvising, you engage different muscles. Like, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, not everyone had a Smith machine. So for you to do shoulder press, you'd balance it, get this weight, and then you'd be engaging everything impossible to even engage your delts. Same as dumbbell press or barbell press or dumbbell curls, or even the preacher curl. They didn't have one, but when they did, it was done with a cable and some flimsy bar, which you still had to balance. So there was a lot of balancing acts, and I feel maybe that's what's changed, that bodybuilding is so machine-based structured. It's just a push back, forward, back, push back, forward, back, where you're not engaging intricate muscles, and which is causing that striations and the.
Right.
What do you think?
I think it's a good topic to do a research paper and get published on. Actually.
I think so. I think you should.
I don't know, because here's the thing: if you look at competitive CrossFitters, they do everything is free weights, right? It's barbells, it's Olympic lifts, it's kettlebells, everything else, and they have a very blocky frame also. Okay. For the most part, so I don't know if it's so much that as it is, this is what the judges are rewarding. God, I'm probably going to screw myself over on my next show. But no, I think it's what the judges have been rewarding up until now. I think things might change a little bit with some of the guys crossing over currently, because you got, I think Keon Pearson is talking about going into open. He doesn't have a very blocky frame at all. He has a very aesthetically pleasing frame. Urs. He just won another open class, and he just, if you look at the photos there, he looks like a classic guy that just decided I'm having too much trouble making weight, so I'm just going to pack it on in the right places. So he has a very small waist, and his posing, he poses like a classic. I'm a classic guy, so I'm gonna pump up our division, but I think we're some of the better poses out there also.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to emulate Frank Zane back in the day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you are.
So I'm thinking, and then, Chris Bumstead, he crossed over after his last Olympia, and he did an open class also. He just added a little bit more weight in the right places. And is it true he's thinking about coming back and unretiring into the open division? Is that what I've heard?
Well, I haven't heard nothing, but just when you said his name, my mind went, he's coming back. I don't know why. The first thing I thought was, if Urs can do it, what I'm saying to you is, and it's and he's had time, I guess he can rest this year. I would not be surprised if in 2026 that you see Bumstead go for the open. I can just see it happening. I don't know why. I could just see it happening. I could see why not test an environment. And I guess Jay Cutler said it. Maybe opens isn't going to grow any further while we have people stuck in other divisions. And when they start jumping out of those divisions, he said even the men's physique guys, if these guys cross over and come into the opens, they might be the next big Olympian that we've been waiting for. Who knows? It's kind of like he thinks, and Lee Priest said the same thing, he believes some of the divisions are holding the true Olympian back for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously who's been more marketable than Bumstead in the past 10 years?
Besides Bumstead, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
No, but what I'm getting at is when you look at it, from Arnold Schwarzenegger, who became outside of bodybuilding a brand, then you're looking at Bumstead.
He became my governor.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, no, you're right. I don't think anyone's. No offense to basically my business partner and one of my best friends in the world.
Yeah.
Even back then, he was not nearly as big crossover wise. I mean, it got to the point where Gymshark offered him equity in their company, right? And that's how big he is. So I don't know. Maybe that's honestly, if I was the Manions and I was the IFBB, I would probably be lobbying for him to come back in the open category.
100%.
Because no offense to Derek or Hadi or Rami, they're not marketable in any means whatsoever to the general public. No. And that's, I think we're getting around the whole steroid stigma a little bit from the 80s and 90s. So I think there is a chance for this sport at some point, maybe to get its way back into the mainstream. Because if you look at the 90s, ESPN had wall-to-wall bodybuilding stuff on. I mean, in the mornings, it was, I mean, Sean and Flex, all those guys were doing workout shows for half hour. And they had there was a block of 2 or 3 hours of just workout shows on ESPN2 every morning. And I remember when Flex, when he said when he won the California championships, which is not that huge of a show, it was on ABC.
Yeah.
Broadcast television.
Yeah.
So it could be again if they package it the right way.
Well, I think, I'll be honest with you, this is going to sound weird, because I got so caught up. I've always bodybuilt. I've built my body to be able to enter the stage. I've not gone to stage. I have taken a cycle at 49. Trust me, I know how to diet down. I know how to turn up to things. And it's part of my DNA. And so if you can do it for decades, it's better than a season or 2 or 3 or being on stage once in my life. It's more of, it's brushing my teeth, having a shower, the gym tonight. I rock in there. I focus muscle memory, muscle connection, all that stuff. Looking better than yesterday. That's all I care about. Can I look better than yesterday? So the thing is, and it's got nothing to do with fat loss either. It's got nothing to do with fat loss to me, meaning definitely leaner, but I can't be lean all the time, and I need to grow. And when I grow, I know when to grow, and I know when to cut. I want to cut. And it's got nothing to do with a trophy or a stage. It's got to do with a certain part of the year, something coming up. Summer for us is the 1st of December. Guess what? It's 10 weeks away. Who's going into comp time now? 10 weeks out from summer. I'm in comp pro. So my food is cleaner. Things are poached now. I'm getting a bit hungry because I'm eating more different kind of cuisine. But that's how it goes. That's how I kind of look at bodybuilding myself to grow. And so I think I've just lost my train of thought. What was I trying to say? I just lost my train of thought. What did we go? Chris Bumstead.
You got me thinking of food.
Yeah, no, me. I know.
The mainstream.
Oh yeah, got it. Do you know back then? I know you're going to sound crazy, but from Ronnie Coleman onwards, I kind of lost touch with bodybuilding because it was more in the gyms, posters. It was a lot of flex, Sean Reyes, Dorian Yates, Chris Cormier, but it also still had Arnold was a big part, Franco Colombo, Frank Zane, Samir Banut. Like, I don't know why they just they still carry on, right? And for some reason, even when I look at them today, and like I said, I know everyone now, but even when I look at them today, do you know steroids is the furthest thing from my mind? Is the furthest thing from my mind. And that's what I think was back then. We just thought, how were they training? What were they eating? It seemed attainable. We could never get to that level, but it didn't seem like it was that I had to go on a cycle. It was more like I had to train. Where today, kids are on cycles, they're not even on stage. They're not even, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the cycle was predominantly built to get on stage, to compete. Where today, they're taking cycles to get muscle. But no one understands you still have to exhaust the natural element, which is food, rest, and training to build some quality. And the sprinkling of dust is what might get you to go that 10% more or 5% more, but it ain't going to make you 100% more. It ain't going to take you that far. It's just going to let you have more strength, recover better, possibly grow better, obviously, whatever it is. But it ain't going to, you still need to, like a lot of these guys, it's going on a little bit what I'm saying is, but I didn't know Milosh won Mr. Universe natural. When he came to America, he was natural. When Milosh came to America, he was natural. I'll tell you a funny story. When they told him Arnold Schwarzenegger was taking steroids, he fought long and hard to tell him that he wasn't. He didn't. Only when he was losing in shows in America that someone whispered in his ear and he goes, okay, got it. You know what I mean? A lot of people, like even, I'm not sure even Sean Ray, but even Lee Priest and a few others had already won massive accomplishments on a natural stage. Obviously, they're naturally genetic. But what I'm getting at is, how do you know you're naturally genetic unless you're training naturally to get to see if you're naturally genetic?
I don't know. Flex and I did on our podcast, we talked about this a while back. So there's a lot of social media accounts now. You see they're openly not bragging, but speaking about them being, and they're 18, 19-year-old
yes.
kids. Some of them are getting on stage, but then I kind of wonder their thought process with that, because even when you were at the very top of the sport, I mean, it's winning the Olympia, it's a lot of money, but it's not forever life-changing type of money like if you signed an NFL contract or a Premier League contract.
There's not a lot of money in it, mate.
No. So I wonder what is missing in their lives to make them take this route to begin with. But then you get a lot of other kids that, I mean, you've heard of the Trend Twins that are all over YouTube. Yeah. I've met and seen them at some of these expos. I don't think they have a whole lot of intention on competing because they're making so much money off their social media. Yeah. Just being two boneheads, juiced out the gills in their early 20s, getting as big as possible, which is their prerogative. But I don't know. It's just the majority of the people that I've seen the studies on that are taking anything, even black market wise, are doing it for their own self purposes. Like they just want to look a little bit better. But I don't know. It's getting to the point where, I mean, I didn't touch anything until I was in my mid 30s. And at that point, you're on a decline hormonally anyway. Yeah. And I have no issues whatsoever. We actually have a telehealth clinic. So, we do hormone replacement therapy through physicians. So I mean, that's in your 40s and 50s. It's pretty much, I did a reel on this the other day. At that point,
I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this.
This is almost a necessity. Yeah, it's almost a necessity at that point if you really do want to get back to any real vitality.
Do you think I want to go with that? I might even debate it. I might even debate it a little bit. But having said that, I just, like I said, I'm watching bodybuilding today, and it's massive. It's just as many men as there is women now in the gym, which is great. I mean, but like I said to you, I'm just seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people going, question time. It's Friday question time. Ask me anything you want, and it's like a young trainer, young guy, and they're asking what's their stack, what's their steroid, and I don't know how they're so proud to talk about it, but I don't know yet. I haven't met anybody that likes to talk about their side effects. I don't like anyone. I don't think any bodybuilders turned around and said I'm impotent. I don't think anybody's turned around and said I've lost my balls. I don't think anyone wants to turn around and say it affected my diet, affected my appetite, it affected my kidneys, affected whatever. I got heaps of acne on my back. Like nobody seems to want to talk. Everyone seems to glorify it, but it's like, I don't know why it's become that, but it has. And I don't know. What's your theory? Why is everybody happy to talk about drugs when Flex, Sean Ray, Dorian Yates, only now they ever do bring that up. But back then, they spoke about boiled eggs. They spoke about protein. They spoke about training. They spoke about chicken breast. Yeah. They spoke about protein shakes. They spoke about rice. They spoke about their favorite sauce that helped them eat the meal. Yeah.
Social media, maybe. I don't know. I know. I might point my finger at one thing with social media. It's the fake natties, I think, maybe push things in the opposite direction also. So all these people proclaiming they've gotten all these things through these supplement brands that they're endorsing, whatever.
God, yeah.
And they're not doing anything illegal or anything under black market wise. I think that might have seen that equal and opposite reaction. So that apply some physics in there. I think that might have done a little bit of it. And I honestly think maybe the baseball steroid scandal maybe kind of legitimized it a little bit more, in a different way though, not to cheat. But I remember I met not Mark Bell, but Mike Bell, the guy who did the documentaries, the Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
Yep.
I remember that one physician being on there, and he said, if you could take this substance with the known and unknown side effects of performance enhancement drugs, I think he said steroids, but it would allow you to keep your job, to put food on your table, and to keep a roof over your family. Would you do it? He just kind of gave a wry smile, right? And you look at it, and there's the majority of the people in the Mitchell report for the baseball scandal were guys that are trying to keep their jobs for the most part. I remember FP Santangelo was one of the guys that showed up. He's a Bay Area guy, so I hear him on the radio all the time. And he said, I was a guy that fought for my roster spot every season. Like I could get cut or I could not. And I was making $1 million a year, but I had no other skills at that point. I went straight out of high school, didn't go to college. This is the only thing I could do to feed my family and keep myself from being homeless. So, he did GH when he got injured to try to get back on track. I think that legitimized it in some people's minds a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
And then you talk about a lot of subject matter out there now with hormonal therapy for both genders and how things do change as we age.
Yeah.
And then they throw in all the other stuff with, blue light stuff coming off your computers, and we're all computer people now sitting in front of that for several hours a day, or electrical lines, and you buy into that stuff, and maybe that lowered your hormone levels or whatever, and then you justify a little bit more. And I think a lot of people just get sick and tired of being sick and tired of looking for that little extra oomph. I think the majority of people here just don't want to go work out and change their lifestyle in general.
And I will go, because your post 3 days ago was Gen X professional men. You know what? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up, because I wrote notes, and I said it says for me to bring it up. And it says I'll bring it up, and there you are. And what did I say? What post is that? 3 days ago.
I don't know, that's last Friday.
No, I've got it here because wait a minute.
I know you're feeling it. We're actually
Here we
not
go.
feeling it.
One
Just
sec.
trying to make a mistake. All right. Gen X professional men. I know you're feeling it. We're actually not feeling it. Here's what you can do about it, and I'll be 100% with you today. Let's talk. Now, I think you know what I'm talking about, right? No libido, or your libido is actually fine, but your hardware isn't working?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, full on erectile dysfunction. Add on reduced muscle mass, strength, and energy, and there's more fat on your body now, especially around the midsection. You don't like the way you look, right? Add to that the possible anemia, emotional changes, not good emotional changes, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, insomnia. That's all from low testosterone as we age. And other issues with life, diet, alcohol, stress, lack of sleep, medications, they all add up.
Yeah.
Add to that the stuff you can't see or feel, really, like increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Yeah, let that all add up. Okay, first off, the bad news part. This isn't really something you can outright fix with nutrition and exercise.
Oh, come
Even
on.
though you do need to do those things. Let's get rid of the stigma. Hormone replacement therapy is the fix. HRT or TRT, whatever you want to call it. Medically supervised and monitored along with exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle changes. This is your true answer. And it's okay. It's not cheating. Remember, we're all 45 or older, give or take. Prior to modern medicine, which really only keeps us alive, the life expectancy in the U.S. used to be around 48, so we are depreciable items. Now, with all that in mind, the answer now really is getting testosterone levels back to normal. And yes, that is a subjective number. And control overall hormonal balance. So maybe an estrogen control substance, and maybe an HCG or gonadotropin, something along those lines. Think of it as a tune-up for your body. HRT coupled with exercise, nutrition, along with needed lifestyle changes will alleviate those issues. You will look better naked, perform better naked, have more energy, improve bone density, lower health risks, and you will also improve your mental health and cognitive function.
Well, there you go. Is it done? Oh, it's just thinking for a second. Anyway, I think you say stay sexy as you age. Sorry about that. So, all right, I'm going to ask some questions. I'm 56, right? I'm 56. I mean, I got, first and foremost, what is it about doctors and not wanting to check people's testosterone? Like, why doesn't our general practitioners, when they take a blood test, tick the boxes for testosterone and all this other stuff? Why do we have to ask them? That's one. And why do we have to debate them? Like, I just want to know, in Australia, it's my cousin. He's a doctor. He was a professional rugby league player. And even he played for Australia in rugby league.
That's a rough sport.
Yeah. We don't dress up too much. We just bash each other up. Yeah,
No,
it's a rough sport. Yeah. And but he's a doctor. And I said, how come you just don't tick these? I had to debate him to tick certain boxes. What is it about?
What was his answer?
He got frustrated. I don't know why. You know what? One of the things he said back to me was, how come you want to check this? We only check that for females. I don't know what it was then at the time, estrogen. I don't know what I was checking. But what I'm getting at, whatever it was, it didn't matter because we probably got it in our system. But he's thinking females ask for that. But because someone said, get all these checked, get your bloods checked. But it was a debate with no real answer. Like, I'm telling you. Right. Why?
Well, I mean, I can't speak to Australian medicine. I know in the U.S., they're just not, the general practitioner is just not educated on the topic very much. I mean, what I would advise someone in the U.S. to do is get that referral from a general practitioner to go meet with an endocrinologist who specializes in this.
Okay.
And we'll look at those numbers.
Yep.
What the general practitioner does is make sure you don't, like I said in the video, make sure you don't die.
Yep.
That's their primary. You don't die and you're not in pain. That's their primary thing. I mean, just like my daughter, this is semi-related. She had a complete tear of her ACL after a practice one time.
Yep.
We took her to her general practitioner. She did what's called the anterior shelf test, where you have your knee bent and they pull forward on it. And my undergrad was in pre-physical therapy, so I'm semi-versed in it. Watch her do it. She was doing it all wrong. She thought it was just a little bit of a strain. Just take a couple weeks off, you'll be fine. Turned out it was a complete tear, so she had to get a reconstruction. So I forced things along, and the orthopedist checked out. I was like, oh no, we need to get an MRI, and the MRI showed it was tear. So the general practitioners don't know as much about those things as they should. But that's kind of that's why they're a general practitioner. They didn't go into a specialty. No. They're not versed in that, just like they're not versed in exercise. They're not versed in nutrition at all. So they just don't know those things. And even if you were to get the test done, their ability to interpret the results probably isn't there either. Because like I said in the video, it's very subjective. Yeah. To where, a man's testosterone level can be anywhere from 300 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. How do you interpret that? So if someone is at 300, they're considered okay and normal. Whereas when they were 22, it was probably at 1,000. And, a slight wind and a look at a girl in a sundress might get them all excited. Where now it takes a lot more. So that's why, I didn't say everybody Gen X wise. You and I are both Gen X. Because some people are relatively normal and they stay within those norms because they've taken care of themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was going to say.
Whereas a lot of people, I just went to my 35-year high school reunion, and hopefully none of them are watching to hear we say this.
Here we go.
But very few people that I came into contact with that I remember from back in the day looked healthy.
Yeah, it is that. It is that.
A couple of guys did. I mean, a couple of guys surprised me how good they looked. A couple of girls surprised me how good they looked. And I don't know if you guys have the same thing with high school reunions.
We do.
You remember those girls that you had the crush on? You're like, now you're like, well, they're nowhere near what they look.
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to say anything out loud.
But no, it's in those cases, like I said, if you don't feel these things, if you feel run down. I do say to there, even with our clinic, we do prescribe or suggest testing first to get those levels done. Yeah. And then we have endocrinologists that are on staff that do the assessments of those and have meetings with people to adjust. We have told people, no, you're not a viable candidate right now because you're 58 and your testosterone levels are in the mid 800s. You should be fine. Yeah. I think you just want to get the juice.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
No, we could talk about some other stuff because we do have like very medicinal level vitamin D and a couple other things. There's another compound called NAD plus that is, I think, is going to be the government's going to get their hands on this one because it's the next fountain of youth situation. I've read studies where perimenopausal women went completely out of menopause and started their cycles on regular again on this stuff. So there's some other stuff that we could suggest, but usually they want to get on some testosterone to get their muscles a little bit bigger.
But it seems like a lot of because maybe you're talking about what you're talking about, getting on the juice. A lot of our youth are taking TRT, and like I said, I'm
absolutely no reason,
and I'm not a doctor here. I'm not a doctor. I mean, all I knew was that if you substitute something with something, maybe it won't produce it anymore. And I think at a young age, not letting their natural body's chemistry produce stuff, but then the body's intelligent enough to know you're getting it from somewhere else, can shut it down. I'm concerned by maybe some of the clinics or what people are listening to or believing in relation to TRT. And maybe, again, not saying you, not anyone, I'm saying some of the, which you did mention here, some of the basic fundamentals is, what's your diet like and what's your lifestyle like? And are you pushing some weight? Bodybuilding, especially, getting in there and pushing, a bench press of dumbbells, maybe 25 kilos. I don't know, just something that you're exerting some power, pushing. I don't know. I feel like everyone, again, is looking for this shortcut for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, especially for men, I shouldn't even have to bring it up for women, in all honesty, in their 20s, but they don't physically or emotionally mature until they're 26 anyway.
Yeah.
So they're still going through, a growth process hormonally up till that age.
100%.
So to see these guys 21, 22, 23, or even 25 jumping on gear, Flex will admit to you, he started very young also, but risk reward and how things turned out.
Yeah, of course.
How many people are going to be Flex Wheeler there?
Oh, yeah, of course. They were an anomaly, these guys.
Right. So, just to think you're going to be that guy, but Flex has had people approach him about getting their kids on gear because we go back to that kids sports thing, because they have in their mind that all the other kids that they're competing with for these scholarships are on it also.
Wow.
And I haven't seen any kind of reports on that side of things yet. I do know at the NCAA level, they do drug testing at certain levels. So I don't know, but like Victor Connie said, the only people who fail drug tests are stupid. They just it's an IQ test.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anything before 30, I would say that's a definite no. It's a no for me.
Yeah.
If they're an elite level athlete, then I might give them a pass on their own personal decision.
Of course.
That's their own personal decision. You talked about side effects. One side effect for me, I can't conceive a child anymore.
Yep.
But that's a good thing for me at my age. So that's
of course.
I already have 3, so we're good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, of course.
So what if you might say as a positive? I don't have to go get the snip. So
yeah, of course.
But no, it's the side effects will be there no matter who you are and how good your chemist is.
Yeah.
And then those other kids that are on it, like the Trend twins, I question where they're getting it from. And, they're making money, so who knows, the quality might be okay.
Yeah.
But we all know we've heard the horror stories about the quality of some of the black market stuff.
Yeah.
When Flex was working with a guy who was an elite level IFBB pro.
Yep.
Now, he helped him get his pro card and get qualifications for everything else. And this guy is in the Olympia now. He was top 6 last year, I believe, in the Open. He was getting something from another former Olympian who was a gym owner and very, very well-known guy. It turned out to be fake when they tested it.
Wow.
So that's coming from 2 Olympians from their sources. And we're just talking about Novodex, so it wasn't even something you inject or anything else. It was turned out to be sugar pills.
Wow. So people are trying to do the placebo effect on people.
Yeah, or they're just they're cheating them.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there is a market for it, isn't it? Really?
Oh, absolutely. And and what are you gonna do? Sue them? You're gonna call the cops? No, because you're buying an illegal substance and you probably paid with Bitcoin, so you can't even get your money back.
Wow.
So that's another thing I really caution the entire market on, where people go on that route. So yeah, it's a rough, questionable thing. But at the time, would I have thought about it during my fighting days? Absolutely, I did think about it.
Yeah.
Because it was a benefit, but I wasn't just some kid fooling around with local point sparring karate tournaments. I was fighting on the world stage. So.
Yeah,
so
but
different perspective.
Yeah, it is. Like I said to you, I don't know. It just seems like, again, basic fundamentals of. I know you're right. I'm 56 and I understand what I'm hearing and seeing, but I believe in my mind, okay, this is the ring I've entered. This is the fight of fights. So there's this route, or there's this route, which is eat well, 1, reduce alcohol, 2, the gym, 3, rest. I can't take away stress. I think I love it. I don't know why. I like to be busy. I like to work, but I don't like stress, but it's part of my life. But I really think and I pay attention around me to think who are the people that need a lot of this and why aren't they doing it? And then you can see their shortfalls. Even their body structure and the years they haven't trained and the neglect they've done to themselves. And you think, well, all right, we haven't neglected ourselves, but But I understand. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to lose my penis. There's no denying that. I think I love my penis. Let you know that. I enjoy what it does and what it can do out there. If it, it seems to have fun.
Yep.
It likes what it has fun. It's a fun place. Sometimes there's regrets. I mean, there's a lot of that too. And, and temptation, and the damn thing thinks for itself. And that we have a war at times. But thankfully, there's a confession booth that we can go to and sit down and talk about it.
There you go.
But having said that, not that I've ever been to a confession booth, but the thing is, it is. It's a touchy subject. I don't know why. I just think it's a funny one, and I just kind of trying to understand it. And like I said to you myself, why I debate it, and I want to debate this one too, not with you personally. But it's this calories talk. And I think the way we're eating and the processed food and what's in our food and people not looking at ingredients and people not understanding, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, but are you reading what the ingredients are as well of what you're taking on board? And I wanted to ask you that question, if we could segue further, a little bit into that, is what do you think of calories in, calories out?
Well, that's a good 30,000 or 3,000 foot view of the overall process. It's obviously more nuanced than just that.
Yes.
But for weight loss purposes, if that's your goal, creating a calorie deficit is absolutely a must. Even if you're eating the best foods, you can eat
100%.
too much high quality food too.
But that's fat loss. Yeah.
Right. So if that is your goal, then yes, I mean, you do need to look at your creating a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
But if you take it too far the other route, if you're just looking at number of calories, you can make that in popsicles and ice cream too.
Yes,
that's
what I'm saying.
Not going to help out either.
That's what
I'm saying. So yeah, no, there's got to be quality as well.
Yeah, because I feel that that 2,000 calories of a carbohydrate is different to 2,000 calories of a protein. So and I'm thinking, like you said, what is the end result of what one wants to achieve? But I feel, this is myself, I feel like the bodybuilding industry has gone into the fat loss industry. And I think that's what I'm saying, like where I think to grow muscle, you need to be in a little bit of a kind of like a surplus in a way. Do you agree on that?
Sure. I mean, I do believe that recomposition is something that can be accomplished, but again, it's more nuanced than that. But yeah, if your goal is to add muscle, then yes, you have to have a little bit of a surplus, and it has to be the right surplus, because it can't just be a surplus of, like you said, ice cream or
chocolate cake. I'm going to grab my coffee here.
For my biggest thing though is,
tell me,
as a trainer,
my
biggest thing is health and wellness first.
Got it.
Because I believe if you got that situation and you're not overeating, then everything else should take care of itself.
Can you explain health and wellness? Just so in your perspective, I'm just going to go with what you health and wellness.
Just the absence of any negative check marks. Right. So like we talked about, we didn't get too into the nuance aspect of the calories coming in, but I bring a little bit more of a anthropological view to it, because I feel like the testing process, you brought up the fact that you come from a European background. Yes. Obviously, I come from more of a Japanese, coastal Asian ancestry. Our people evolved on different foodstuffs.
Yes.
Right. There wasn't a whole lot of, like for the Japanese, there's not a whole lot of animals, like huge animals, like cattle or anything along those lines. There's a lot of fish. Yep. A lot of seafood. Mm-hmm. I guess in Greece it'd almost be similar, right?
Yeah, we liked goat.
Okay.
Lamb.
Smaller animals. Right. So whereas, if you're, let's say in South America, let's say you're growing up, this is, prior to Portuguese colonization of the area, the natives, there's almost, they might have had a higher carbohydrate diet that they evolved eating, because there was not a whole lot of large animals there. And then going the exact opposite extreme, you have the indigenous cultures of Alaska. There's no plant life to eat for the majority of the year. And they had a lot of fat in their diet because they're hunting, seal and whale. And then the indigenous Aborigines in Australia, what kind of plant life and they had a completely different diet that they evolved eating. So I believe that's another thing that there's some certifications out there that look at that process and do some subjective testing.
Yep.
With looking at your parasympathetic nervous system even, and how that adapts to food or reacts to certain types of food. So I take a little bit more of that approach. And I feel like if you get a good sweet spot with feeling full, but not over full, but satiated with the right foods.
Yeah.
I feel going that route, and not talking about ultra processed food that comes in boxes that has a shelf life that'll live through the next nuclear winter. Right.
I know.
The health aspect, because I think we don't really get fat or unhealthy until that aspect is in the wrong direction. So I feel like in that sense, when we get some activity, things will even themselves out.
So, because we're on food and watching your channel and feeling like you know something, I don't know, you could be lying to me, but you know something. How do you feel at the moment? There's a lot of talk about seed oils, because I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. Not that it kind of dawned on me, because when I turn every packet, there's a seed oil. Like even spices. I'm thinking, why did this shakeable spice, chili with mixed herbs, why has it got vegetable oil? Like why does why has everything got vegetable oil? Like everything, unless you're buying fruit and veg natural. Why? Right. Like the cranberries in a packet, you turn around, you go, why has it got vegetable oil and cranberries? Like,
it's usually a little bit lower on the list, but yeah.
No, but what I'm getting at is it just seems to be everywhere. It's just like everywhere. Peanut butter. Sometimes you can get 100% peanut butter, but you turn it, you go, oh, vegetable oil in this one too.
That's the only thing that keeps it shelfable.
All right, so tell me, let's talk about seed oils a little bit. I've never asked anyone this question, so you're the first.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Really?
All right, so I used to be way down the other end of the rabbit hole in this one, where it was all organic, everything else. I don't know if you heard a guy called Paul Chek, but I was part of his cult for a little while. So I would have demonized seed oil to my last breath.
Okay.
And then I actually read the studies and saw the studies, and even the studies where they heated it up to super high temperatures.
Right.
And it's not, I go with now, it's not the most optimal option, but it's not going to start you down the death roll of life.
Not poisoning?
No.
Okay.
No, they've this is one they've literally actually tried to put those high enough doses to kill people with, and they haven't found anything yet.
Okay.
In the peer-reviewed published studies. So it's not something that's going to kill you. Is it the best thing out there? Not really, but it's not going to be something that you really have to worry about. And too many influencers out there have basically made that their asbestos of the 21st century.
Oh,
and I think they've taken that too far.
Oh, right. Because it's got me thinking. it's got like I'm wondering myself that seed oil's bad for you, but I guess not. I want to go down to the vegan and vegetable protein, but not yet. I'm still going to go by my notes because
I'm just putting out that this is my opinion and my interpretation of the studies that are out there, and that's what I go with.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
You're not going to not die, or you're not going to kill yourself by avoiding it either. So if you want to avoid it, then it's not a bad thing either.
You're go on.
You're avoiding something that's not going to hurt or help you either way. So it's not going to kill you by avoiding it either. So it's up to you, really.
Well,
but if you do decide to use it, you're going to be fine.
Okay, well, that's. I just wanted to ask it because, it was. I've never asked anyone that question, but it seems like the biggest topic at the moment. And there's a guy. What's his name? Dana White uses him to do his diets and everything.
There's a couple of guys that are huge followings on social media. To the point where people like Dana White are hiring them. I can't think off the top of my head.
I know what
Dana White's doing a lot of things that he doesn't really need to do because he's doing the TRT stuff. So actually that's stuff that's working for him.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm just wondering.
Along with he is exercising and he's watching what he eats.
This. There are some serious fucking idiots in the gym right now
Oh, yeah.
doing some stupid ass shit. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this one should
Let's
go
go.
over like
There you go.
Oh, there's that off our podcast.
But people first watching this, there are some serious fucking idiots in the gym right now doing some stupid ass shit. Yeah. I've been in Europe and when I was competing and literally watching people do cardio while they're smoking a cigarette. I'm serious. I'm serious, and a lot of them said it's done at their appetite, and they use it in that way. So, I mean, yeah, there's always a right and a wrong way to do that.
So, what are we talking about here?
Nicotine. I forgot what that podcast.
I got a feeling.
Nicotines.
I got a feeling you guys are talking about. I feel you're talking about. What's it called? Vapes. I believe probably you're seeing vapes at the gym. Is that what I'm thinking? Or you're seeing that?
No, I think he was. I think I was talking about some of the programming people are doing. Actually, the workouts in the gym. He pulled that out. But on that topic,
please.
Nicotine has been shown to be an ergogenic and an appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who get off of quit smoking and tend to gain weight.
Yeah.
Because then they become hungry.
Yeah.
Now, fun fact: during my prep for that nationals, when I won my overall, I was using Nicorette lozenges as part of my last month of energy and also appetite suppression.
Bodybuilding hack. Go ahead.
Bodybuilding hack. I actually put that straight out there. It's legal. You can buy it on Amazon and have it delivered to your house. But no, it gave me decent energy boost and it helped curb my appetite without having to actually smoke.
Wow. Did it make you want to smoke when you finished?
No, I didn't feel an addiction to it, which is now for me, full disclosure, I have an addictive personality. So bodybuilding was kind of a sport that I probably should have second thought to begin with.
Okay.
But I kind of already went over my fondness of vodka and gambling. So I was actually a little bit worried about that, but no, I did not feel addicted to that. That was one of the warnings on the labels. It could become addictive. I did not feel addicted to it. It's something that, maybe the Japanese side of me where it's also, I don't have to pay for this anymore. So that's even better kind of thing. But no, I did not feel addicted to it. I got the results I wanted from it. So there is a little bit of a bodybuilding hack there. And I've heard of, it's not banned by USADA or WADA. So I've actually heard of fighters utilizing it recently also for weight cuts.
Wow. So little did I know that the Japanese were similar to the Europeans, didn't like to pay for things. Little did I know. What a fun fact that was.
Maybe we're all cheap, I guess.
We're all cheap, guys, especially the bodybuilding industry. So what were you talking about? What is fucked?
I think that day, I remember I can't remember what our actual topic was, but I'm one of those guys because I've got an undergraduate and graduate degree in exercise-related sciences, exercise physiology. I've got a
kinesiology, exercise philosophy. Yeah, go on, yeah.
So when I see and I read journals actually, I just got a new one today that I'm still going through right now. But I read journals nonstop. So when I see people, this is one of the bad things about the bodybuilding, not industry, but the background that basically made the entire fitness industry. We basically founded it, the gym industry. Unfortunately, because we're seen as a bunch of lunkhead types that go to the gym in stringers and that's all we do, I think they think the general public goes in thinking, I just need to join, I'll do whatever, and I'll get results from it.
Yeah, you've talked about the gym. The gym doesn't care about you.
No, they don't. They don't. And that's coming from experience because I know I've been the owner, right? So, no, I think people think, I go in, that's all I need to do. I'm just going to go through these rows of machines, or I'm going to find something that someone did on Instagram and I'm going to copy it. And I see that all the time, and I have to put my blinders on. Don't worry about them, worry about your workout. But then I look over and I'm like, what the hell is this person doing? If you notice, I've censored myself on my language on your show, by the way.
Oh, good. You didn't have to, but thank you.
Okay. But no, I even today at the gym, I saw some things. I'm thinking, what? And then I just kind of go back to what I was doing. All right, my break is over, so I got to get to the next set.
Yeah. Look, it is. look, I've kind of seen social media personally. I've seen what social media has done for, I'm going to go with just bodybuilding, has created one of the biggest negatives and one of the biggest anxieties I've ever seen. It's not fun. Bodybuilding is completely, you're wrong. You're getting it wrong. I'm the one that knows it. You've got to follow me.
Yeah.
I can show you what you're getting wrong. You're not growing big arms. I'll show you how to grow big arms. You got it all wrong. I know what's right. You've been missing out. Like, it hasn't stopped. It's literally one big anxiety, one big negative. I feel like, what's happened to bodybuilding?
Oh, and it's gotten worse. It gets worse every day.
Yeah. I thought it was a good thing.
I don't know. I mean, I try to avoid that thirst trap, and I go with, this is what current research has told me on this specific topic. Except for vegans, I will always tell you vegans are wrong, but everything else, I scroll through because unfortunately social media is part of my job.
Of course it is. I'm too. I get tired of it, but I watch it. I have to.
But yeah, you have to. But you see, you have this whole big thing now with the science-based lifters, which I consider myself a part of, where there's some very credible people out there that have some good information.
Yeah.
Some has even been peer-reviewed and published, like Jeff Nippard has had some published studies.
Yeah.
And I think people take them out of context and try to. There's that. I don't know if you want to put them wannabe science-based lifters that do some really weird stuff with, I saw one guy that put a cuff on a cable, but held a grip in his hand anyway to stimulate something or else. And he was doing straight arm pull downs, which is a legitimate exercise, but one side at a time on it with his body strapped to a bench at the same time. I'm thinking it's going too far. And then, he's just going for, if we really want to look at it, he's just going for the clicks, right?
Yeah.
He's rage baiting for the most part.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he successfully rage baits all the bodybuilders who are doing what they consider old school, just common sense workouts. And I'm not going to take scientific advice from you because you're smaller than me, which is not always, that's not really a legitimate argument either. Because you're not telling you to do this. He's just putting something else out there.
Yeah.
But it's just this war that goes back and forth. And then you got guys literally assaulting each other on camera and posting that. It's gotten very, very strange in our industry.
It has. And, yeah. I mean, it was once upon a time, watch me do a bench press, but I am standing up showing you my buttocks. I thought, well, that doesn't look like a bench press, but thank you so much for preparing us for you to get on the bench. That's kind of died down a little bit. Now it's the fear mongering, like you're not growing your chest. You got a problem with this. You've got a problem. We've got problems. Everything's a problem. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to this bodybuilding? I thought it was supposed to be like get in the gym, pick up some weight, do some barbell curls, dumbbell curl, whatever it might be. But everyone's got a hack. And then funny enough, it's a whole circle. We go back to why are we complicating it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not for oversimplifying either. I'm kind of in that middle ground.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's where Flex and I go back and forth debating all the time. He likes a very simplistic thing. He's still doing the same workouts today that he did back in 1999 for the most part.
Yeah.
Whereas I get too bored with that, so I gotta change something up, or else I'll go stir crazy.
I think for me, what I've come to realize when it comes to bodybuilding, like I said, if people are listening to this podcast, I realize I do. Light bulb moments always pop up. But they always pop up when you're complacent. In other words, like muscle connection, mind to muscle connection. How many times I give that up? And then I realize I've been doing it for 6 months or 1 year, just going to the gym, picking up weights, not even thinking about it. And then when I go, oh yeah, muscle connection. And then you do these great workouts for the next 6 months. It's just sometimes reestablishing yourself. I don't think people realize it's very hard to continually be engaged, connected all the time. I mean, yes, Flex, Sean Ray, Lee Priest, Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, they got paid to do this. That was their job. They they were paid to be engaged all the time. We got families, kids, someone's ringing us on the way to the gym. We've got a deadline and we want to fit in a gym session. I mean, we're never going to get it right. But sometimes when you kind of go and say, yeah, I haven't really sat there and really focused on mind and muscle connection, and I haven't found the sweet spot. And when you do, you know what? I haven't done cable flies for a while. I might just do some cable flies. Oh my God, they feel so good. Like I said, there's all these little bits and pieces. Like I said, it's a funny game. I don't think I think it's like how long's a piece of string. I don't think there's any end to bodybuilding. I think we always go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Right. Well, the biggest thing for me, and just dealing with so many influencers that I get to hang out with at these conventions and everything else, is I think the biggest mistake is they don't have the empathy for the people that they're actually getting the most engagement from, which is the people you talked about, which are the ones with families and regular jobs and dealing with deadlines and thinking about something on the way to the gym. Who don't have 2 hours, 6 days a week to work out in the gym, where that's part of my job. So it's a different situation for me. Whereas, you know, one of my business partners who we talk about, for him, 3 days a week for 45 minutes to an hour is plenty. Is exactly what he needs right now. And for someone like me or someone like these guys on Instagram, that's like thinking that's sacrilegious almost. It's like not going to church.
Yeah, I know.
But that's not realistic for 99% of the people in the world, most likely, that have to deal with a lot of other stuff. And they don't want to get huge. They don't want to get much bigger chest. They just want their chest to droop down to their navel anymore, right?
Yeah, well, I guess they just want to feel good, one, naked, maybe feel good in a great dinner shirt or a T-shirt, you know, feel great in a suit, maybe, feel good about getting down to your jocks at the gym, at the beach. I guess it's very simplistic stuff, you know.
Well, I always break it down to the reptilian brain, which is basically survival, food, sex, right?
Yeah.
So we take care of the first two, then it comes down to, am I desirable to my significant other still? Right? And that's, as we age, you know, that's something that goes, I believe you're married too, right?
I'm divorced, but I have got a girlfriend, yes.
Okay, so that's something that goes at our age. You know, we don't look like we did in our teens or our 20s or 30s or even 40s. And in my case, it's even more, you know, but both my wife and I, we go through this dysmorphia even more because we were competing. When I got my pro card, I was 47. So I don't look like your typical 47-year-old there. 47-year-old guy.
You don't.
So as you age, you even think even more horrible thoughts about what you might look like when you take your clothes off or go to the beach. Whereas, you know, my wife, even the years when she was competing in her late 40s, she would cover up and squint her shoulders forward going to the beach in a bikini, even though she had just been on stage the night before on an IFBB stage. And that's a different ball game, right? If you come in 16th in the IFBB show, you look amazing, of course, to the general public. But she's sitting there like thinking, you know, she's hiding herself.
I think I was, look, I've said it, I'll say it again. For me, bodybuilding is a sense of vanity. I'm just telling you, and it's a sense, and it's like I said, maybe I wasn't born with the best noggin, but definitely I can try to manipulate this body as much as possible. And there's an ego to it, and there is a masculine to it. There's a lot of things to attract. I mean, not that because I was married, I wanted to attract, the opposite sex. I mean, I was happily married. I didn't need to. I was, you know, to be faithful was not a problem. But I still didn't want to give it up to not seem appealing to the opposite sex, though I wasn't pursuing it. And also, it wasn't that I didn't want to also, against other masculines, wanted to compete against the masculine side of looking like a man. So for me, it is vanity and it is ego. And I'll tell you, it is front and center is the only carrot in front of this donkey that believes it wants to eat it. If I didn't have that, because it's kind of like the only thing I've got other than just doing my best to stay in this game called life. And that's, I think, when people, I guess I'm saying, do it for the stage, or they're doing it for something. But for me, it's very personal. It's very personal.
Mm-hmm. It's both for me. I do plan on competing again.
Yeah.
Obviously being in the Masters division, but no, it's there is a vanity. There's absolutely a vanity aspect, and bodybuilding is absolutely a vanity industry. So you cannot deny that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally no different structural wise from any of those beauty contests out there. It's just a different set of categories.
Yeah.
So yeah, to say it is, I mean, that's completely lying to yourself.
So when are you thinking of competing again?
Well, if there had been no COVID, I would have done a few shows by now, but that and work kind of changed things. So hopefully next year, I've been eyeing a couple of shows, looking at the ones that have both a Masters and an Open category. So
why do you want to compete?
Because I haven't yet as an IFBB pro, so I want to be able to say I have at least. And I think, I have it in the back of my head that I want to do the Masters Olympia next year if I can.
Yep.
Just because there's no real qualification process other than send your application in and know the right people, really. Oh, wow. But otherwise, I know I can hold my own at my age category at the Masters level.
Yep.
I will push the limit and see what I can do at the 35, 40-year-old age limits as well. But I just have to compete in something, and I don't want to get divorced, so it's not going to be the World Series of Poker.
You like poker? You've mentioned it a few times. Are you a good poker player?
Oh, I have so yeah, just put it this way. When I'm divorced also. I was married prior to that. That's my oldest daughter. That's her mother.
Yeah.
After our divorce, I took the equity that I was paid out for our home. I took that and went to Vegas for a month. So yeah, I played poker for a month.
How'd you go?
I did okay because it was during the World Series. So I entered a bunch of World Series events. Some of the lower ones, like the $1,500, $2,500 buy-ins. I cashed in on 3 tournaments out of 10, which is in the grand scheme of poker. They told me that a 30% catch rate is actually pretty good.
Okay. Well,
so I did not come back in the negative on my entry fees. I barely scraped, I think, a couple $100 in profit on that.
Well, it was an experience.
It was an experience, so I did okay on it. And there's a couple of hands that really screwed me. I think I could have had 1 or 2 more cashes, but I just got boned with a couple of guys. Got some really lucky cards.
Well, I've never been good at gambling or poker, so I'm a hopeless poker player. I'm kind of like, yeah.
Oh, Doc Holliday will tell you poker is not gambling, but no, I'm bad because I played. I mean, I like Hold'em. Obviously, I do like Omaha as well.
Yeah.
But my favorite is actually Raz.
Wow. See,
that's where I did one of my cashes was in Raz.
Yeah, I guess I know poker's a sport, and I know it's quite lucrative, and I know it is a skill. I've seen it, but yeah, I think I'm just aggressive. I'm too aggressive. I don't know how to. I think I'm too aggressive. I think that's my problem. But let's talk plant-based diets. What's wrong with vegans, mate? What's wrong with the plant-based people?
All the science is against it. I mean, I will give there a little bit of a caveat on that one.
Yeah, please.
If you go from, let's say, a typical American diet of fast food and ultra processed this and everything else,
yep,
and you switch from that to vegan, you're going to get better.
Yep. That's
just a given. But the long range of everything else. Now we're talking pure vegan here, right?
Yep.
Not vegetarian or
vegan,
lactose or anything else like that. You're not going to get the nutrients required. Even if you're purely vegan, like my sister-in-law is, and you see me getting into physical pain even bringing her name up. That means you're also not going to touch supplements that are anything but plant-based, and those have also been shown to be severely lacking in essential nutrients. So you're just not going to get the nutrients you want. Plus, Del Bursic actually put a study out 2 years ago now that actually linked plant-based diets with a lot of adverse mental health issues.
Yep. Really?
So that's my problem. Yeah. They said they're 3 times more likely to have suicidal ideation with vegan-based diets.
Oh God.
Now they didn't say a causation here. They just said a correlation.
Okay. Because I'm going to talk about proteins in a second.
Mhm.
So plant-based protein, no good?
Not with the studies I've seen shown. I saw another 5 or 6 studies where they did 3 groups competing with the same workouts, same protein amounts, but casein hydrolysate,
Yeah.
whey, and then I forgot if it was a wheat-based protein or a pea-based protein.
Isolate?
But
I don't know.
I don't remember. But basically, there was almost zero muscle protein synthesis that it was measured with blood tests and biopsies with the plant-based diets, where there was severely, basically said the casein-based ones, supplements, create a lot more muscle growth.
Oh. So you mentioned here, because you did mention casein protein, and I remember talking to, I think I looked at Milosh's diets when he was competing, and he mentioned casein protein. I'm not sure if he mentioned it on the podcast. Did he mention it on the podcast at all, Chris? Casein protein? Not sure. But so there's a few different types. There's casein, whey, I think that's isolate, and plant. So what is it about casein? What's casein?
Casein is just slower digestion with the way it's globularly put together. So it digests slower in the system, and so the amino acid release is more elongated. That's what they have postulated as a reason for there being more muscle growth from it. So it's more of an elongated muscle protein synthesis from that whole digestion process. Whey is just not as effective, but it can be good.
Yeah.
It's just digested quicker. And so I know a lot of the protocols are to do a casein shot of some kind, anywhere from 25 to up to 60 grams before you go to bed at night.
Yeah, what is it is about? Sometimes bro science gets it right. A protein shake before bed can seriously boost muscle growth, and researchers backs it up.
Yeah, so I mean, now there are some nuance to those studies as well. But for the longest time, you had a lot of the guys telling you to take a protein drink before you go to bed at night. Now at our age, you have to worry about having to get up and pee a whole bunch of times. So
you do, yes.
You might want to control that situation. But some researchers put that to the test, and they actually had them take, again, I think it was a casein hydrolysate shake, and then they did a whey protein isolate, I think. They found that both of them created muscle growth, but the whey, the casein version, had a little bit more, like maybe 10% more of an improvement. Now, in those cases, though, it was a little bit of a weird thing with timing, because I remember they said that they did their workouts later in the evening between 6 and 10 p.m. So they didn't know if there was a situation involved with the stimulus being a little bit higher, because they did their, they went into it post-workout, like immediate post-workout, versus I do my workouts at 8 a.m. in the morning. So obviously there are some schools of thought that just more protein throughout the day is really the key, or can be the key, or that bolusing at night with a little bit more that could do it. But they didn't know if it went hand in hand with those later workouts. So we've thrown around some ideas of, we do have my family does have a garage gym. So maybe going and pumping out a couple of rounds of shoulders or something, some shoulder presses, or even going full, Olympic lifting, do some cleans or something before bed, take a quick shower, take the shake and go to bed, see if that amps it up a little bit more. But I've been a little bit too lazy to try that out up till now.
So like I'm going to, because we're going to come to the end now, just a few more little things. Fasted cardio.
Okay. About it.
Tell me about it. I don't know. Is it work? Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know.
Let me answer your question with a question. Enhanced or not enhanced?
I was going to ask you about enhancing in a second, about something
else. If you're enhanced, it could be effective. If you're not, it hasn't been shown to be better or worse than anything else.
I feel you're right, and I did not think of that, but I did feel, as a natural person, I feel fasted cardio is detrimental to me. I find it depletes me too much. That I think it's not, doesn't help me muscular wise.
I haven't seen any research where it created like a huge change in things. I know Milos would argue night and day with me on that one.
But why then enhance is faster cardio? Okay.
I think it's a little bit, it'll help depending on what you're taking. It will help with the, I would be worried about catabolism in those cases because you're coming in a fasted state and your body will go into that fight or flight. You know, parasympathetic system cannot be controlled by you. So your body, again, if we're going through anthropological research, it's only been within the last 50 or 60 years that we've had this overabundance of food. Otherwise, it's been, you know, you eat or you die.
Yeah.
And you don't exert a lot of energy when you haven't had food for a while because your body's going to go into a more parasympathetic state and you're going to conserve as much energy as you can,
That's
which is more dense in fat.
Yeah.
So your body's going to go towards other energy sources. So stored glycogen first, which will be detrimental if you go work out later because now you're going to be depleted, or it's going to go in the catabolic state. You're actually going to use muscle for fuel.
Yeah.
Because it's thinking I need to survive later. I might not get another meal. This fat is going to be my saving grace.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm pretty much against it. Plus, why do it? It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't do it because I feel, like you said, I don't know any person that goes to war or goes out and does something that goes out starving. I don't know how you find the energy.
Right, no, and they've actually shown you bring up war military situations, they always come back depleted.
Yeah.
Both in abilities and muscle mass.
Yeah.
But, I think I might play with it a little bit if you can get a really good, let's say, mixture of diet and try a peptide type of drink, like an intra workout type of drink. Use that during, but then that's not really fasted anymore, right? So, well, I don't know.
Okay, no. Well, tell me, since we said natural, not natural, how does a natural person like me right now, who's trying to deplete, how do we preserve muscle? How can we play the game where, because I've heard it's harder when you're natural to lean up. How do we preserve that muscle if we're not taking a steroid?
Oh, the workout timing. Like if you're trying to create that calorie deficit and burn some fat off, you want to do your resistance training first, and then do your cardio later because of glycogen situations. You want to have that glycogen stores for the performance of the workout. And then it's going to be the nutrition side of things, and I would probably everybody's going to be a little bit different, but I would look at their macro breakdown and I would want to look at their micros as well because that's going to factor in on a systemic level. But it's going to be more protein most likely, and again, that's another reason why plant-based diets aren't going to be helpful in those situations. But no, protein is going to be the key because I mean, what we've seen, the majority of the research again is that, you know, your protein is typically turned into muscle or translates into muscle protein synthesis, and your bodies typically do not convert it into fat. I believe there's one study where they did nothing else but add more protein in their diets, not exercise, nothing else, and they actually did not gain in fat. So it's going to be the protein that does it. And again, it's hard to get it in because it is more dense. So that's where those shakes come into play. And again, you know, at Flex Wheeler Nutrition, we actually do not have a casein product. So I'm not trying to promote any of our stuff right now.
Oh, okay. Well, you can promote it at the end of the podcast. And all right, one more, and then we'll go over the body, and then you can promote as much as you like. The supplement that might outperform creatine in certain situations is beta-alanine. Or maybe the real secret is stacking the two together. How should you take it for the best results? Tell us more.
So that's only in activities lasting more than 1 minute.
Oh.
So, you know, 2 to 5 minutes long. So
some guys during sex, huh? Some guys during sex.
There you go. Or bodybuilding situation, so regular weightlifting wouldn't count. But if my girlfriend's going to give me a beta-alanine, and I should be offended if she's naked and handing me a spoonful of that, I'm thinking like, hey, cut it out, will you? Or you're just going to get a little bit more out of it.
Oh, maybe I get more out of it.
But you're set. So Muay Thai is 2 to 3 minute rounds with 1 minute round breaks.
Okay.
That's perfect for beta-alanine. So basically what it does is it helps buffer the system. So, you know, when you start to get fatigued, it's because of hydrogen ion buildup. So what beta-alanine does, it ups your carnosine production, which actually buffers that those hydrogen ions, which allows you to go longer. So it helps kind of buffer the fatigue situation.
Okay.
Whereas creatine is more short term. So that's more the ATP phosphocreatine coupling, keeping that going. So for weightlifting purposes, sets under a minute, that's perfect there. But anything over that, like I said, CrossFit, which you're doing WODs that could last 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5, beta-alanine would help a little more. Middle distance sprinting, swimming, rugby. Well, actually, rugby typically don't last more than a minute, right? So that probably wouldn't count. But some other sports, it would benefit those for performance purposes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's good to know. Where are we? So, what is your podcast with Flex Wheeler about? And what are you guys trying, and your page, what are you trying to, what message are we sending?
Oh, it's more health related for the older, for guys our age. So we typically, we do maybe 1 or 2 a week, but basically on one of them, we talk about something like we just did with the beta alanine or something that could help benefit their workouts.
Yep.
And then we'll go into something maybe sports related on that day topic wise. Like I know we discussed the Yelena Ostapenko and Taylor Townsend blow up at the US Open in tennis. We discussed that a little bit and what we felt about that. But then we go into something more health related. Like we discussed some of the changes in the healthcare system in the US based on the new bills that came out.
Okay.
So things that directly affect Gen X and older kind of situation, or that's really our demographic now. I really want to help or deal with people in that part of their life and how to stay healthy and active.
Okay. Well, look, let's go over the body. We finish up by going over the body. So this is your personal training time. So I'm going to tell you a body part. All I want is an exercise, sets and reps. Now, if you don't train it or you don't bother about it, just say, don't do it. Don't worry about it, whatever. So we'll start with traps. An exercise for traps?
I don't do anything for traps anymore. I think my Olympic weightlifting days, when I did that for sport, I think helped develop it. Okay. Now, not a whole lot of things you could do with deadlifts or pulls or even rows that don't involve the traps, and they get a little bit of work.
Okay, so let's go to delts, side delts.
I go back and forth. It used to be very heavy on presses.
Presses, yeah.
But now it's more cable-based lateral raises.
How many sets and reps? Just general.
For growth, for me, it's typically 4 sets. Now I go more of an undulating rep scheme. So I go, the first 2 sets are sets of 8. Yeah. Then I go up a little bit, set of 5, and then finish off with the set of 12. Okay. So more of a mind-muscle connection, more of a concentration on that, on the final one.
What about rear delts?
Pull apart. So with cables just pulling apart.
Yeah.
Same set schemes.
Okay. Front delts?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I feel like I get hit enough during chest day.
All right. Back?
Oh, so that's my strongest body part.
Give us an exercise.
What would be my favorite? T-bar probably.
Yeah.
T-bar row.
T-bar rows. Sets and reps in there?
4 sets of 8.
Okay. Chest.
I hate chest. That's my worst one.
Yeah.
Everybody else, that's their favorite day. I just hate doing it. For me, it's incline dumbbell press for me.
Okay.
That one I go a little bit higher rep range on chest. That's probably 4 to 5 sets of 12.
Okay. Bicep.
So I've put a couple of videos up of this. This is one of my favorites. So an incline dumbbell curl. So I get a really deep stretch.
Oh, yes,
back.
Yeah.
So a really deep stretch at the bottom to the eccentric.
Okay. Sets and reps?
4 sets of 8.
Tricep?
God, one of my least favorites again.
Oh.
So overhead on a machine, because I have really bad elbows from boxing.
Yep.
Tricep presses, so overhead.
Okay. Sets and reps?
That's 3 sets of 15 on that one. I like going higher reps on triceps. Okay. This is purely for bodybuilding purposes, right?
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what we're talking about. Forearms?
Nothing.
Okay.
Like getting up on back day and when I do biceps.
Abs?
Very little, mostly cable crunches.
Yeah. I used to love doing abs. Now I can't be bothered. I don't know why.
It's kind of like it's the last thing you have to just kind of do.
Okay. Quads.
Oh, squats for me, and it's high reps on that one. So, well, relatively high reps, so 12.
Okay.
Back squats. If the racks are all taken, which seems like it's a lot of time lately, then belt squats. Try to get as close to that same movement as possible.
Hammies.
Deadlifts for me. Deadlifts. Just did those this morning, and that's undulating sets again in reps. So going with that 10, 8, 5, and then 15 ended.
Nice. Glutes.
I don't really concentrate on those. That's a guy, I guess, a squat day. Maybe change a foot position a little bit, going with the more of a plie stance.
Okay.
And shift your hips back a little bit more.
Okay. Calves.
Nothing. I feel like they get enough work during the squats and deadlifts and anything with my feet on, anything close chain with my feet on the
You
ground.
must be blessed. Then I guess you don't do the tibialis.
No. No, actually, Flex gave me compliments on my calves.
That's a big fucking compliment, man.
Yeah.
Coming from the Sultan of Symmetry. Well, we've come to the end of the podcast. How about you promote yourself? Where can people find you? Where are you? What can they do? Go for your life.
Oh, yeah. Well, on social media, it's just at Greg Nagaye. That's all of them. But the biggest thing is, Prime Mode MD is our telehealth clinic. And then we also have, now the Flex Wheeler Foundation was absorbed into the Humans Initiative. So that's our nonprofit that we do some things with mental health and also with foster care in the U.S., which is very depleted. So we do a lot of fundraising on that. And that's
nice.
Pretty much what we do. Now, the Flex Wheeler Nutrition is not in the U.S. yet. We're probably not going to be making the U.S. a big priority right now, thanks to tariffs.
Okay.
But we're,
where are you big?
EU, India, and North Africa.
Oh,
so
wow.
Egypt, that area.
Isn't it amazing that your own country can't make it big?
It's a rough industry to get into in the U.S.
But it's also so many out there. God, there's so much out there.
Yeah, that's why it is. It's
so much.
Too many out there, and it's just not worth it for us to even try to get into it at this point.
Do you find it as the business model in other countries really good?
Yeah. Plus, bodybuilding is still big in a lot of those countries, especially India and North Africa and Dubai. So the UAE. They still put his videos up at their gym, so it's a weird thing.
Okay, good. That's well, you've known where to go for it. Well, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. We've watched the sunset behind you or in front of you in that room.
I should probably turn the lights on.
Yeah, maybe. But then again, you've created a bit more mystery here for us towards the end. So
as I slowly disappear.
Perfect ending. The curtains are being drawn. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Greg. Like I said, I've found you as a very interesting character. I thought people would get a lot of value out of it. I knew I would. So I just want to say thank you for your time.
Oh, this is fun. Thanks for having me on.
Wonderful. Hey, guys, another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. So to continue what we're doing and to keep supporting you and bringing the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further. We really appreciate the support and to go and find more all around the world. Bring them here to Muscle Talks podcast and share real, raw and honest conversation around a sport we love, bodybuilding. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for watching all podcasts. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us here on Spotify.